aware of that as much as possible so I can stay away from that, my self bias, my self confirmation, or my confirmation bias. So what I do is I always look at the evidence and I try to say, is this plausible? Why did they get to this conclusion? What was the scientific experiment in front of that led to this conclusion or to this discovery? And then you go back and you look, and it's a chain of evidence. Okay, you can go back and you can look and you can see all these experiments that have been done. And what they do is they eliminate the need for guessing or the need for a God to fill in for the explanation. So when people say, you can't create something out of nothing without God, yeah, sure, that was a plausible belief to hold in the 1800s or the 1700s. But now we're at a bit different stage in physics where we understand a little bit more than we did 200 years ago. So we don't need to have a God to explain how things have come to existence. The CMB is a good thing. We see evidence of a creation, like of the creation of the universe. We see evidence of that. None of that evidence of the creation of the universe, or at least as far back as we can go, none of that evidence that we have requires us to have anything supernatural. Everything's explainable by understood physics. So for you to just throw it out and say, no, we're not going to take those physics into account. We need to just assume that there was a God before. Where you stop, Team Skeptic, where you stop at the CMB or at, I think it's 10 to the negative 13 seconds that we can go back in time. We have evidence for that to support going all the way back that far in time. You're the only time in my viewpoint that I need something supernatural to happen is beyond 10 to the negative 13 seconds. And that's simply because physics hasn't been able to explain and demonstrate their understanding of that knowledge yet. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to have that 100 years from now. 100 years from now, no. We might be going all the way down to 10 to the 31 seconds, negative 31 seconds. I mean, it's a progression of science. It has to start somewhere, and it is always going to progress forward. Go ahead, Spurs. I'm sorry. Don't mean to diatribe there.
What's the question?
Always so funny when those
Well,
fucking idiots argue
the
that science
that
changes
we
all
don't
the time.
need a God to
So it
explain what
has
we have.
to be wrong.
Why do you feel like there's a need
Like,
for a
dude,
God to explain
fuck
what
are
you
you
have?
talking about?
And also,
It's
you
the
don't
exact
have any
wrong way
evidence
to
for
think
God,
about it.
but we have evidence for our
Of course
belief.
it fucking changes
believe in
because we
science. If
learn
you want to call it a
more,
belief,
our
then it's a belief
understanding
in
becomes
science.
better
it's a
with
belief that the
time.
repetitive nature of science
The
does
stupid
actually tend
bullshit
to
that
lead
you have
towards
with,
a
oh, God did it.
towards new
It's the
scientific
exact wrong way
discoveries
around.
and repetition,
don't-
repetitive experiments and predictions.
It's just so fucking
But if I
stupid.
could cut in for a second, team, for me, I don't personally see it as a belief, in as much as I don't believe that 1 add 1 is 2. That's just a fact. I don't need to have a belief about the things that I say because there is evidence to back it up. So yeah, you can call it a belief in as much as we all believe that, the square root of pi is 1.7725. That's a fact. But I suppose you could call it a belief, but belief isn't really required for our side of the argument.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Okay, so, well, are we clear now that we both have an idea that neither can be satisfactorily demonstrated?
Not at all.
So I would say
Not at
I would
all.
say that it's intelligent design, and you would say it's a natural phenomena, i.e., you would say matter created matter or nature created nature. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You're saying nature created itself. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's kind of hard to that statement's not entirely true. We just don't know what happened before then. I'm not prepared to guess at it and just assume that there was a creator there because I don't yet have the information to discredit the creator. So, or to validate him. I choose not to assume anything without evidence. Everything we have so far points to evidence up to 10 to the negative 13 seconds. Everything beyond that is pretty much an extrapolation of our modern physics, to get as close as we can to the point of creation. At some point, the universe was created. We know this due to the, Hubble expansion constant and, other observations that we made.
Was the universe created by matter?
Well, right, no, Spurs, the thing is, the universe wasn't just created. Every bit of matter and energy that's in the universe now was there at the beginning, right? No Nothing was just created. It all existed. All the energy that was required for everything in the universe to be as it is now existed at the beginning of time, at that point of singularity. That was all there. It's just the expansion of that energy and then the cooling down of the universe to allow electrons to attach to protons and stuff that gives us a timeline of the universe. Nothing was just created out of nothing. Everything was already there. It was just an infinitesimally small point of space-time that then expanded.
So you're saying
because of
nature
whatever pressures.
creates. So nature created itself, is what you're saying.
No,
I'm
no.
saying that it always existed.
Yes. So
Yeah. So nature always existed, and then it created the Big Bang, is what you're saying.
well, we're not.
No,
okay,
we
so
don't know what
we're not
was
making a
before
claim
the Big
that
Bang.
something
That's
very
the only
specific
thing we
started
don't
in the
know.
universe. That's not on us to make that claim. We don't have the scientific
Well,
evidence to support that yet. But
well,
what we
okay,
do
we don't know a
is
lot of
we
things,
don't
but-
make a claim that is
These
based on
things.
just something to fill in what we don't know already. That's not what we're going to do. That's not
But
what
we're
science
using
does.
logic. We're using logic. Remember, team and
Yeah, but-
fight the flag. Using logic. So
Our,
it's
our
logical.
logic, our logic is limited to our experience, though. So what we may think is
so we know-
supernatural may not be supernatural after all.
Yes, but we know that matter cannot create itself because that would mean it existed prior to its existence.
Well, we're not saying that matter created itself. When you look at Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, which has been experimentally verified as a real thing, energy is matter. You literally, energy converts to matter. When there's a certain amount of energy, it converts to matter. That's an
No.
experimentally demonstrated fact.
Come
about the universe. E
on,
equals
I
mc
needed
squared.
to
You can't
fucking
deny
drink
that
it
fact.
so bad.
So nothing was ever created.
Dang it.
Everything that is needed for the universe to be as it is today was always there. It's as simple as that. Every atom that's in your body at the moment has always been there.
So
Yes.
you're saying it was infinite. Because
No,
absolute
what-
beginning
What
The
we're
absolute
saying
beginning
right now,
had a finite time ago, Craig. You're
okay.
saying it was an infinite time ago. Or not
No,
even
well, we
time,
can
you're just saying it was
tra-
infinite.
No, we can
So
trace
again, we're
back
going by
to
logic.
the
So
beginning.
you have a religious...
Wait,
can
let,
you
let me
accept
let me
that
answer that
it's
question a
religious?
sec. Let me
Okay.
answer that question a sec, Spurs. We can
Sure.
trace it back to the beginning of the universe, to the point of the singularity. Like Team said, to I think it's actually 10 to the negative 31 seconds is when we can literally trace back time to that point after the universe. So, for all we know, the universe that we exist in has a finite time, but we don't know what happened before that. There could have already been an expansion and a contraction that happened before this universe existed.
Yeah,
We
but
don't
you're
know.
getting into
that
the...
is pure
Remember,
speculation.
okay.
Yeah, this is. But what I'm telling you, everything I've said is not speculation. We cannot have matter
No, it
creating
is.
matter. We need
No,
a creator
but
outside of the
Spurs,
matter.
Spurs,
I can't even
you're-
speak. I've
Okay.
not said. I've not said more than So I'm saying that
Go ahead,
we
go
can't
ahead.
have a. We can't have. We've got to have a different kind of substance, you might call it, than matter, if you can even call it that, to create the matter in the first place. Otherwise,
Says who?
Otherwise, you would have matter creating matter. Now, my proof for a creator is information, code. Software is only ever caused by an intelligent agency, without exception. So, whenever we find information existing and trace it back to its source, it invariably leads to an intelligent agent every single time. For example,
DNA.
again, I'm going by what we know. Libraries, books, newspapers, language, computer software, the information age. So if you were to cry foul and say, "Oh, there's no information or code," you are done for, basically, because DNA has two types of digital information, as you just brought up. The gene that encodes proteins, which are the molecular machines of life, and the gene of regulatory networks that specify the behavior of genes. I can cite you from Hood, Gallus, Nature, 2003.
But my question is
January
why
23rd.
why do you make the assumption that must have a creator? Yeah, that's you just said that we have speculation. We get to a point where we have to speculate things and then immediately follow that with speculation of a creator. It's kind of hypocritical for you to judge us for any speculation whatsoever and to turn around and speculate a God just because your limited understanding as a human being in the universe requires you to need a God to explain certain events.
It's not limited. It's not limited.
No, we
It's
are
not-
limited. Well, we are limited, Spurs. You and me in fight, we are limited. We're human beings. We're only so far in the technological age. Think of it like this: we're less limited than people 100 years ago. They were more limited by their technological advancements. So the further we go into the future, the more we're going to unlock better and better technology, and a lot of these questions that you're asking are going to be able to be explained by science.
Can you show me information? Can you show me information or code without a creator ever in our existence?
Yeah, information on the outside of a black hole, the holographic principle.
The
What are you talking about?
cosmic microwave background radiation.
Yeah, Hawking radiation, the
That's
the
all
conserving.
part. That's all part of the creation. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. What are you talking?
all
What
right,
are you talking
Spurs,
about?
what about the Fibonacci sequence? I've got plants in my house that follow the Fibonacci sequence. No creator was needed for that to happen.
Who designed the Fibonacci sequence?
Nature.
Aha.
It's
It's
an
math.
energy.
It's
listen,
mathematical.
Yeah. No.
Who
Spurs,
invented
Spurs,
1
hold
plus
on.
1
The
equals 2?
Nature designed
but the thing
this. Are you
the-
serious?
Right, Spurs. The thing about the Fibonacci sequence is it's an energy efficient way to be. Right. The reason why plants have that Fibonacci sequence in their leaves and stuff is because
We have a
it's an energy
citation for that,
efficient
because I have a
way. for-
citation from mathematics MIT that information is information, neither matter nor energy. Weiner, cybernetics or control communications with animal and the machine, the Technology Press, Paris, 1948. Where is your citation to support that, Craig?
It's an energy. The maths supports what I'm saying. The Fibonacci sequence is an energy efficient way for something to be. The math shows that that's the case.
Spurs, let me ask you a question. Does pi exist? Real simple
created
question.
pi?
No.
Who created pi?
Dude, no, that's not the question. The question is, does pi exist?
It
And if
does
it
now
does-
because you've
No.
because you've just created it.
No, it doesn't. It's a ratio
No, I
between the
didn't.
circumference
No, I
and the
didn't.
diameter. Hold on. It's
Yeah,
a
who
ratio
created that
between
view?
it's a ratio between a circle and a diameter. A circle is
How do
just
you know
defined as a geometric shape. The circumference
How do
has
you
a
know
length.
this?
Because we can measure it. The circumference has a length, the diameter has a length, and the ratio
Mm-hmm.
between that will always be pi.
Anyway, look, I've won that point. Okay, so I've just
Hold on, what do you mean
demonstrated-
you
No,
you have not
Spurs.
won a point,
I wanna move
Spurs. You have
I
not
wanna
won.
move
No,
on.
we're not going to move on. You speculated that there's a creator. We need to address that speculation.
No, 'cause I
You
don't
say
wanna
it's
get
not
into religion.
speculation.
I want to get into flat Earth. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can
no
understand that. I can understand talking flat Earth because it's something more physical. But I fundamentally disagree with everything you're saying here. And just because you say you've won that point does not necessarily mean that you've won that point. It just
I've
means
just
that
shown that information needs a creator. You're just now
you have
doesn't,
asserted.
though.
You have asserted that information needs a creator. You have not proven that. Big difference.
No, it's impossible to have information without a creator because you will you've just designed whatever you've just told us.
And that's called an
Right,
argument
right,
from
sorry, Tell me about
ignorance.
Spurs. Yeah, Spurs. Tell me, who created the spin of an electron?
Who says it
And
spins?
that information.
It
well,
does.
It's
It's
yeah,
an intrinsic
so,
property of
when you
it's
have-
an intrinsic property of fucking of
Where did you get that
electrons.
information?
And when you
Who's this?
quantumly entangle two electrons. No, but listen, right? Wait, hold on. When you quantumly entangle two electrons, the information can be transferred from one electron to the other regarding the direction of spin. Who designed that?
Again, where did you get this information from? That's
It's
the
a fact
point.
of
It
the
always
universe.
has a source.
It's
A
experimental. It's an experimental
You said
fact.
the
Yes.
word fact. Again, where did you get that information from? Can you always go on like this? Anything you know is information. That's why I've won this point. Can we move on to
Yeah,
the
but that
next
doesn't
point?
mean
hold on.
information is created.
So hold on. Do we have to actually literally go through every single experiment that ever fucking discovered anything? Like electron spin is a fundamental property of electrons. Okay, there's no arguing whether they spin or not. They spin. This is scientifically and experimentally proven beyond any shadow of a doubt. Creator, no creator, doesn't matter. Electrons have spin. That's just that. So go ahead.
And they would
Chris.
have spin. They would have spin for a reason.
It's an intrinsic
Not just
property
random.
of electrons. Yes, they have spin.
Yeah, for a reason, not just random.
What's the reason?
And what's the reason?
But what? Why do they? What are they doing? Where do you
No,
see them spinning?
I'm asking you. What's the reason? You just said they have a reason.
Well,
that
first
they
of
spin.
all,
What's
you
the
just
reason?
said. Well, I don't know. Where do we see them spinning?
I didn't say. Oh my god! I didn't say that they spin for a reason. They just spin.
I said that.
It is
I asked
an
you where-
intrinsic property of electrons. They spin.
I'm not
You
arguing
send
that.
Okay. So, well, you just
I'm
did.
saying-
You just said how.
No, I
do we
didn't.
Okay. So what?
I said,
then
where,
what-
where do we see this? And I can tell you why they are doing what they're doing.
Experimentally, anytime you run, oh my god, experimentally, you have to account for an electron spin. Okay, this is a
I'm not
quantum
arguing.
mechanical property
I'm not
of an
arguing this,
electron.
Steve.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
what is your?
arguing. I believe
Okay.
you. I'm
All right.
saying, show me where this is an action, and I will tell you why it's doing it.
Okay,
Where?
Look at
Where?
your hand.
Show me
There's
where.
electrons in the atoms on your hand. They have spin.
Okay, so let me
electrons
pull up
in my
an
hand spin.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up an experiment that involves electron spin to show you what the difference between a spin up, spin down electron is. Literally, when you run an electron through a magnetic field, okay, it's going to deflect in one of two directions, and only one of two directions. It's never
No,
going
but
to go
where?
straight. It'll
Where?
always go up, and one will always go up, or it will always go down. It's just an intrinsic property of an electron. They just spin. They don't have a reason for spinning. No one goes and spins every electron as they come into an existence or as they attach to a
Everything has a
nucleus.
reason.
No, that's
Everything
your
has a
assertion. How do you know that? Where's your proof that everything has a reason?
You don't prove things, you disprove things, skeptic. What's wrong with you?
Oh, please
Okay.
tell Sleeping Warrior that. Please tell Sleeping Warrior that.
So, what is the basis for your
Wow, he
assumption that
learned
you just
that
made
phrase.
that everything
No, no,
has
no,
a
no.
reason?
You
Okay, fine. Hey,
disprove
you know what?
I mean, he's
I got
right.
it for you, Spurs.
But he
Explain the
didn't say
Casimir
that
effect.
2 debates
Hold on.
ago.
Explain the
Well,
Casimir
just
effect.
learned that.
Explain the Casimir effect. There's no reason for the Casimir effect to be to exist. We just experimentally predicted and proved it. Oh no, the Casimir effect is an
You've got to calm
absolute.
down a little bit. You've got to
I'm
calm
not
down.
mad,
Instead of-
Spurs.
instead of
I'm
just-
not mad. What
yeah,
are you
instead of
talking
just
about? I'm
saying-
not
yeah,
angry.
Well,
You're not
this
gonna
is
you're
what
not
it's
gonna
about.
throw me off by trying to say, "Oh, calm down." I'm not mad. So here's the thing: the Casimir effect exists. There's
I'm not
no
allowed to speak
reason.
now. You-
There's no reason for it to exist, but it exists. Explain
I'm
that.
asking you. I haven't disagreed with you once. Not once have I disagreed. I've asked you, where is it? I believe
mean?
you. Just
What do
show
you
me
mean,
what
where
you're
is it?
talking about, and I will tell you why.
Okay, give me a
For
second.
goodness sakes, man! I'm not disagreeing with you. What do you have so we can
Spurs,
look at it?
What do you want us to show you? Do you want us to show you an experiment that involves electron spin?
No,
You want me
I
to
want
show
you
you
to
an
show
what
me.
you
experiment
want.
involving the Casimir effect?
Yeah, show me that, and I'll tell you why it's doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Alright,
you
well,
are a person that
Yeah.
is
Okay.
capable
So
of
I'm going to explain
explaining
it
that.
first, and then I'm going to show it to you after we explain it. Okay. So you can have an
Okay.
idea of what you're
Okay.
looking at, and then I'll grab the source material while you have any questions. Okay. You have two plates. First off, we assume that there are virtual particles in the universe. Okay, virtual particles that have no effect on me and you. They simply come into existence, go out of an existence. They exist in a wavelength. Okay, so each particle that comes into existence is associated with a wavelength. If you take two plates and you put them in the same area, and then you begin moving them closer to each other, you start limiting the area at which some wavelengths can exist. So let's say you have a wavelength that's 1 nanometer, and you bring the two plates to 1/2 of a nanometer in, apart from each other. Well, now, because those plates are so close, anything with 1 nanometer can't fit within that area. So because these particles can exist outside of the plates, but can exist inside of the plates, there was a predicted force that would push the plates together. And sure enough, experimentally, we showed it to be true. Now, there's no reason for this to happen. The Casimir effect is just simply a consequence of being able to manipulate the universe to get pressure excuse me, an additional pressure on the outside pushing harder than the pressure on the inside pushing outward. It's predicted. There's no reason for that. Okay,
I'm not doubting you. I want to see it.
You just said, okay, here. I'm pulling up the, give me one side. Everything I pulled up was, had a, what's it called? Like a clear background. So let me get one that doesn't have a clear background that I can show. And then, as I show this picture, I'm going to pull up the actual experiment so that way you can also get a reference to the experiment. So give me 1 second, Spurs.
Oh shit. That's not good.
No worries. I think because I don't want to labor too much on this point here, because, like I say, information.
Can I just clarify some? Sorry, go on.
Okay. Sure, no, carry on.
I just wanted to clarify the point that you said. You agree that science doesn't prove things, right?
I mean, not entirely. No, I did say that, yes, but not entirely, though. But I will, for the sake of the argument. Well, for the sake of the argument, we can go down this path where we have to disprove our claims. I'm willing to do this, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Right.
And I'm going to show you how.
Just tell Sleeping Warrior that'd be great.
No, because Anthony is right. We prove things with the scientific method, right?
No.
But obviously, in the heliocentric paradigm, which
We
I'm trying to explain to Rumpus, this is the way you would go about disproving your hypothesis. Which is, we're going to do that tonight, though, as well. We're going to disprove our hypothesis. So we're going to show how it is possible and can be a positive for the flat Earth. Even though we don't like this method at all, one bit. But I understand it, so we can work with it. I mean, it's difficult to debunk something if you don't understand it. So, for example, Einstein, a lot of globe earthers don't understand the Einsteinian gravity, Newtonian. So obviously you can get away with it, Craig, by saying, oh, yes, well, they're the same. We make the same calculations. Well, yeah, I understand. Of course you would. And I'll explain why as well. So, yes, and I will explain why.
You do understand that Einstein and Newton were literally the same, and everything you guys say about Einstein and Newton is wrong. Like literally, Spurs, you cannot say that globers don't understand something when we are the ones with the scientific background. I have studied physics. I have studied the relationship between Newton and Einstein. Newton and Einstein described the exact same thing. They were talking about the same thing. There is no exclusivity between them. That is a fact, and you need to accept it.
I do accept that, yeah. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to find out what the fundamental difference between the two.
Riley, then.
No, again, these ideas are very difficult to conceptualize, especially if it's something you outright just don't believe to be true. So you kind of have to go into, like I say, your paradigm, figure out exactly what you guys are talking about. And yeah, I appreciate the fact that Einstein and Newtonian are closely related, and they can look almost exactly the same. But there is a slight difference. We'll go into after team here as give us our demonstration.
I'm just
So okay,
make sure Riley hears you saying those things.
The Casimir effect or the Casimir force is what it would appear in our reference frame, but the Casimir effect was experimentally proven for the first time in 1997, and it was and I've got the actual experiment here. I'll share this in the chat real quick first, so that way they can follow along. And then I'll send it in our chat as well, so you can see for yourself, Spurs.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Try Thinking is in the chat, but is far too scared to actually talk to Team Skeptic. Try thinking.
Spurs, tell
Hey,
Bev to
Bev.
come in here. Tell Bev to come in here, man. Tell him we're not gonna fucking bite. He should know this by now.
I'm sure Big Boys.
All right, so I just shared the document. It's not the actual experiment paperwork, like the experiment that was turned in to, for scientific review. It's just talking about the experiment as it was performed.
Uh-huh.
If you need me to grab the actual scientific papers, I'm sure I could grab several scientific papers.
No, you do
the
know
Casimir
I
effect.
don't accept. Go on. But I don't accept
go ahead.
cartoons. But this is just your explanation, right?
Yeah. No, I sent in the internal chat. You should see a link to the original experiment in 1997 that was performed. It's not the paper that was written on it. Well, I can put it on screen too. Give me 1 second. I just sent it to you in the
your claim. If you want me to debunk your claim, understand your claim, I've got to know exactly what it is you're talking about, right?
The Casimir effect. It has no purpose. There's no reason for it to exist. We just say the prediction was made that vacuum energy exists. Okay, that vacuum, that the deepest, darkest, coldest places in space are not empty. Okay, no matter what anybody thinks and what anybody tells you, they're not empty. They have this intrinsic property to it that's because of virtual particles that come into existence and out of existence. All right, so we needed a way to test this, and somebody came up with an idea to say, hey, well, let's limit the number of wavelengths on the inside of the plate, giving more wavelengths on the outside of the plate. The prediction that was made was that the reduction of wavelengths on the inside of the plate will reduce the outward force, causing the plates to slowly come together. And that's what was observed in 1997, the validation of that theory. Now, you were saying that energy, matter, and all this has a purpose, has a reason. What was the reason? We took something that was purposeless to us and manipulated it so that we could detect whether it was actually there or not. And we were able to detect it.
Okay, you're going to show me
every time we do the experiment.
Again, I'm not doubting you. You seem like good guys. So can you show me something other than a drawing, illustration, and you just telling me this to be the case? Because what I'm going to show you that the Earth is flat. I'm not going to just show you a photo. Go on.
This comes from physicsworld.com. Thermal Casimir force seen for the first time. That is the actual.
How and why was it discovered?
It says right because there was no reason for it to be discovered. Someone made a prediction beforehand, and someone said, "Let's test this prediction out. We can test this prediction out by limiting the number of virtual particles that are on the inside between the two plates versus the outside, relative to the outside. If this happens, you would have less force pushing from the inside of the plates outwards than you have from the force pushing." Yeah.
Let me just stop it right there, because you're saying we have information, language here, something of like symbols, and you don't understand what it's saying, so you're dismissing it as no reason. That's what Napoleon did in Egypt when he saw the hieroglyphs and the Sphinx, and he said, "Well, this isn't a language. This doesn't make any sense. I'm going to destroy." The point is, because you don't understand the reason for it, you don't understand what it's saying to you, you're saying, well, it has no reason, therefore I can dismiss it. That's not how science works. You have to look for what the information is telling.
No, Spurs,
right, so that has
information. You're putting words in our mouth there. No, Spurs, you're
I'm saying that has information.
We're not saying
what?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the
You're saying that that's there for no reason. I'm saying that has a reason. It has information there. It's trying to tell you something. If the scientists had half a brain, they would know what it says. Now, you can't just say to me,
you seem to know, though.
You don't know what
you seem to know. What is it? What is the meaning then? Why did God put that information there that's totally useless to us, that was just predicted? Okay, it just said, well, look, if what we believe to be true, okay, we should have this effect should be there. We should, even though we don't see it with our eyes, we don't touch it with our hands, it offers nothing to our existence, our reality, anything that you or me or fight will ever do, but it exists. Now that was the assertion, right? The assertion was this exists out there. Well, we can't just accept that when someone says, yes, virtual particles exist, they do. You can't see them. They only exist for an instantaneous moment of time, but they exist. Well, then I would say, if I just believe that, that would be supernatural to me. But then someone goes, no, it is natural. It's not supernatural. Here's the experiment that we can do to prove it. Okay? Here is a prediction we can make. Let's set it up and see if our prediction holds. Sure enough, according to this thing, the prediction of the prediction of the Casimir force, the Casimir effect, it was visually and observably and testably proven, and it matched our predictions. We were able to show that the virtual particles do in fact exist in our universe, even though they have no effect on me and you whatsoever.
Okay. I mean, again, that's not really demonstrating or proving anything. You're giving me a very good explanation of how you think this piece of information is giving us, knowledge, so, or not giving us knowledge, so to speak, in your case. But I'm sure if people were to look at this and decipher what's being said, it wouldn't take that long to do so.
Well, they
so
did.
Anyway,
they did, and it matched exactly what we predicted. Okay, that's the difference between making a prediction about God and hoping God comes through and performs your...
No, God doesn't work like that. You don't know how God works.
Right.
So God...
But the universe does work like that. When we say that the universe has virtual particles in it, and this is the experiment that we should be able to run to detect these virtual particles... Okay, if at any time we run that experiment properly and do not detect the virtual particles, that means that theory is wrong. See, you...
Can we move...
Go ahead.
Come on, because this is not... Can we move on now to the globe and to flat Earth?
Yeah, we can move on to whatever.
This
you
is
want.
not interesting.
I was making the comment because you were saying that a God must be present for energy to exist, and that's not... No, you didn't win that point. You just made the assertion.
You've just given me information. You are the source telling me that it's just random. You've created this scenario, and obviously, with further investigation, would find that your creation could be right, could be wrong, but information is there to be read. You can't get away from that.
Well, energy is information. Okay, so there's no way of getting around that either. I mean, energy is information. You still have not proven that a God or a creator must be there for the energy to exist. Why?
Show me information without an author.
I just did, the Casimir effect.
Yeah, the creator obviously
the spin of
created that.
Okay, spin of electrons.
An assumption.
Intrinsic properties.
You're making an assumption of a creator.
No. We need to go. Let's go to the globe now. It's been an hour now, right?
No, it hadn't been an hour. But okay, we'll go. We'll do whatever. Tonight we'll talk about anything you feel comfortable talking about, and I'll let you direct the conversation. So, would you prefer to leave this topic and move to the globe?
I didn't realize that
Yeah. I mean, let's put that to one side. So, right, we're gonna try and we're gonna presuppose the globe. We're gonna try and falsify the heliocentric model. Right, so we're going to try and our hypothesis is that we see ships disappear. The cause is physical Earth. We're going to presuppose that it's spinning. All of these things, right? That's what we believe. Yeah.
Okay.
You believe the Earth is a globe, right, team?
Yeah, sure I do.
Right. So how are we going to go around falsifying this idea that the Earth is a radius of 3959?
Well, we have pictures from space, so there you go.
Those pictures from space are came from a place, and that violates physics. So let's try and falsify again.
Wait, what? No, the only way that a picture can be taken... Yeah, the only way that these pictures can be taken from the place that they're being taken from is because they follow the laws of physics, not because they violate the laws of physics. Like, just because I take a picture from a distance doesn't mean I can't use that picture because I'm at a different place. It's not physics anymore. No, that's not how it works.
So again, we can't use those so-called images. We don't know if they're
could've used that
paintings. We
trinket
don't know if
so-
they're CGI
so
computers, graphics.
We
Because
do.
my
making
two
the claim-
trinkets are really,
if you're making the claim,
really not
or
that
even an
good.
assumption that they are
Both of them
paintings,
suck.
Say,
pretty
I said,
bad.
how do we? It's a question. How do we know they're not just paintings? We don't know that, do we? Or do we? How do we know this?
Yeah, okay, we do. Right, let's talk about the image that I am showing right now, the 1972 Blue Marble. This was taken with a physical camera, a Hasselblad camera with an
And
80mm film.
rain
The negatives were then taken and developed in a darkroom, physically. The negatives for it still exist. That was physically taken on a physical camera. So it's not a painting, it's not CGI, it existed before computer graphics of that kind. There is no way that you can say this picture is not real.
Okay, so again, there's so many violating factors in
the
this
lights are
image
really
here
good.
that completely
Name
break
one.
science apart. So you've got the
Name
gas
one.
pressure there. I'm about to explain it now, if you let me. The gas pressure on that Earth there is without a container. So
It doesn't need
all the
one.
gas,
No, it's not.
all the
Spurs, I've told you before, you're wrong, okay? It's not without a container. Energy is required
Hold
to
on, let me-
escape the acceleration
look,
that
listen.
exists.
look. You've made.
If you're gonna make a
Dave,
claim,
you've
I'm
made-
gonna refute the claim. You've just claimed
Yeah,
that,
but I'm gonna back it
it
up.
needs a physical container.
all right.
But I'm going to
Go
back
on, then
it up.
try.
Let's do one
let
point
me
at a
finish
time.
first.
Spurs. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Spurs. But let's do one point at a time. Let's start with gas pressure, and before we move on to the next point, okay? I know
Right,
you're
so
not
leave
trying
this
to,
in-
but I just want to say let's be sure that
Leave
all of
this
us stick
image
to
on the
one point.
screen there, yeah?
Not a problem.
Leave this image.
Okay.
This
Spurs,
is a great image
It's on
to
you, man.
analyze. right?
I'm gonna kick it over to you and let you make your argument, and then Fight and
so
I will discuss
let's
that.
think
Go
about
ahead.
this now. Let's think about this. We've got all that gas around that ball, and then around that ball we have the void, the vacuum of space. So what you've got is really high pressure on that ball next to really low pressure in the space of vacuum.
No, you don't.
So even if
Hold on, Craig, let him finish.
Even if there was a gradient gradually going up to the Kármán line, so to speak, look how much area we have of low pressure. Some of the numbers, I haven't quite revised the numbers, the minus 2 and all those things, 10 to the minus 2, all those things. But I'm sure there are some more well-versed flat earthers who could give you those actual details. But again, just in any experiment without having to know all the numbers, you could try to replicate what you see here. You could take a giant vacuum chamber, for example. You could take a spherical object and put that spherical object in the middle of the vacuum chamber, pour water, put gas around the ball, and everything would fly off the ball, Craig and team. So this here, for me, absolutely refutes everything we know about science.
I can prove that.
Go ahead,
wrong
Fight.
right
Go ahead,
now.
Fight.
Right. So
Hey,
first of all,
Spurs,
you
Spurs, do me a favor. Let Fight answer the question, and then I'll give you a full time to respond to it. Okay.
Sure, I won't say a word.
First of all, Spurs, you made the claim there is a high pressure next to a low pressure. No, not anywhere on Earth does that exist. There is 14.7 psi. That is next to 14.6 psi. That's next to 14.5 psi. That's next to 14.4 psi. And that continues all the way up. There is no point at all where there is a high pressure next to a low pressure. However, if you look at this video I am about to bring up,
and your full screen, Craig.
This is a vacuum chamber, okay? A vacuum chamber inside of a nuclear reactor, right? Now, the vacuum chamber is 10 to the negative 11 torr, so pretty much a perfect vacuum. Now, you see that blue band that's around there, right? That's a high pressure area. That is an extremely high pressure area of plasma, ionized gas. Extremely high. That's what that blue band is. And it is sitting right next to the 10 to a negative 11 torr with no physical container between the two of them. That is exactly what you have been asking for all this time. High pressure, right next to a low pressure. However, it's irrelevant because you are wrong. There is no high pressure next to a low pressure on Earth. So do you want to retract that claim?
Absolutely not. That experiment, if you can call that an experiment there, is surrounded by a container. If you were to remove the container, your entire...
No, you said a vacuum. No, Spurs, you said a vacuum chamber. You are the one that said a vacuum chamber. I am showing you a vacuum chamber. In the middle of that vacuum chamber, as per your exact request, there is a high pressure. That is exactly what you asked for. Don't try and skirt around now. That's what you asked for.
Just to point out that this is a common thing that flat earthers of course ask us to demonstrate is a high pressure system inside of a vacuum. So now that we're showing you that there's a vacuum chamber there and that the high pressure system is sitting next to a vacuum, you're trying to move the goalpost and saying that, you know, it's not really a vacuum chamber. No, it is a vacuum chamber. This wouldn't occur if it wasn't a vacuum chamber. Go ahead.
Okay, so what we've got in the real world, what you tell us, is gas pressure without a container and a vacuum without a container. What you're showing here, Craig, is a container. That's the problem.
Again, we don't say we have a vacuum without a container. You are misrepresenting the model that we have. We have a container that the vacuum of space is in. It's called the universe.
Yeah.
The universe?
Sure.
What?
Universe contains everything in it.
As I explained, we have energy in the vacuum. There is no true vacuum of space, like zero pressure in any direction. There's nothing like that exists. We can get really, 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 really low, but there's always going to be a little bit of vacuum energy that exists inside of every point in space.
What are the walls
doesn't need
made of?
walls. It doesn't need walls. That's a construct that you as a human have decided that in your everyday life you see this and it must be the same throughout the universe. Can you demonstrate that it needs one?
Yes, you can't. No, you can't ride your bike without the tire. You can't just pump your bike there.
So, are you assuming that the entire universe is analogous to the atmosphere of the Earth?
Well, it's gas pressure, right?
No, it's not gas pressure. It's vacuum energy pressure. It's pressure that just exists.
No, Spurs, let's talk a little bit about definition for a second, because the definition of gas pressure is to have a uniform density, right? That's gas pressure. Does that match the Earth? Does Earth have a uniform density of gas? Yes or no?
No. The pressure of a gas.
No, Spurs, stop. No, Spurs, stop. It's a yes or no question.
No, because I have a citation for this from the Chemistry of Elmhurst.
No, it's a yes or no question. Can you just answer it?
So are we doing science or pseudoscience, first of all?
Science.
Because we're doing science, but I'd like you to answer the question.
I've got the definition that the pressure of a gas is the force that the gas exerts on the walls of its container.
Do you not see anywhere in your definition where it talks about uniform density?
Let's have a look. I have to skim through that citation here.
This is let me tell you, this is a common argument for, this is a common argument for Quantum Eraser and JM Truth and anybody else that uses that same script. They always talk about, when they read off their definitions and their .edus, they always talk about the gas pressure will have a uniform density. It's always in their definition.
Okay, so it says that it exerts on the walls of its container. So when you blow air into a balloon, see these are the citations. Spurs, you guys don't have any citations.
No, Spurs, stop. You're jumping around the question. I've asked you a simple question. Does the Earth, the atmosphere on Earth, does it have a uniform density everywhere? Yes or no?
No, of course not.
Well then, it's not gas pressure.
Yes, it is gas pressure. That's what you're breathing.
No. You've just told you've just told me it's not by saying it does not have a uniform density. That is the definition of gas pressure. It does not have a uniform density. Therefore, we do not have gas pressure. We have atmospheric pressure created by gravity.
Where's your citation for that?
Well, you could just go to courses.lumenlearning.edu or grcnasa.gov. I mean, I can post all
win
these
that one. Another
citations
point
if
to
you
me.
like.
You don't have it. No, you don't have anything. You haven't provided anything, right? And that
I've
two points
just
to me.
He's
told you.
instantly triggered as soon as he
Sir,
hears
shut up,
NASA.
Right, just shut the fuck up and don't say you won when you haven't. 'Cause That's
Nice.
extremely fucking annoying. All right. I have just told you where you can find 2 citations. I can bring them up on the screen if you want. But gas pressure has a uniform density. Earth does not have a uniform density in its atmosphere. Therefore, we do not have gas pressure. We have atmospheric pressure, which is caused by not so I say. Facts. It is caused by
Where's the
gravity.
citation?
There is a
Where's the
gradient.
demonstration?
Okay, well, can you demonstrate? Can you demonstrate how? Hold on. Can you demonstrate the mechanism by which we do experience an atmospheric gradient without the force of gravity being present? Because we observe a gradient. If you're saying gravity isn't there and we're just making that up, then you would then need to explain why we have a pressure gradient without gravity. Because gravity is the reason we have a pressure gradient.
No. The only reason why we have a gradient is because the gases begin here on the surface of the Earth. So as they disperse,
Citation, please.
Yeah.
Begin here? What?
Well, that's what we see.
So
in
the
that's
Earth
what we see in
shits
nature.
out gases?
Really?
No, we don't.
Really? We see nitrogen being produced nonstop off of fucking the surface of the Earth. Where is the nitrogen that is the majority gas in our atmosphere? What is the source of the nitrogen then? I believe it's 80% of our atmosphere.
I didn't make that claim about nitrogen.
No, you made the
did.
claim that the gases are created down at the surface of the Earth. Well, guess what we see at the surface of the Earth? Let me double check this so I know I'm not. I believe it's 80%.
So unless it comes out of, I mean, I don't know
80.6%.
what gases might or might not come out of a volcano, but mainly water from the
78%.
oceans. Mainly water from the oceans.
Water is
create
H2O.
that-
There's no nitrogen in it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The atmosphere.
And water contains the atmosphere contains a very small amount of water vapor.
So
not
listen,
a lot.
if gravity didn't exist, Spurs,
No,
okay,
yeah,
hold on.
that's
If gravity didn't exist, then the bottom surface would be filled up with the oxygen that plants produce, the carbon dioxide that natural like volcanoes and shit like that produce, and the carbon dioxide that humans produce, methane that animals produce. These are gases that are at the surface, but we don't see these gases.
Gravity. What is it? What is gravity?
It's a phenomenon that we notice
A
everywhere in
phenomenon
nature.
that we don't.
Yeah, a phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
Gravity is a phenomenon.
Changed it.
What is this phenomenon?
that we
It's
observe it all the time.
the phenomenon is that
We
mass,
observe gravity.
that
What
mass
do we
and
observe
energy.
gravity all the time?
Mass
Where
and
do we observe
energy.
gravity all the time?
Okay, listen. Mass and energy warp space-time. Okay, mass and energy warp space-time. We see the effects of that. One of the effects that we see is gravity. Another effect that we see is time dilation. Both of these have been observed, demonstrated, experimented with. Unless you're ready to say that that general relativity is wrong, then you're going to need to tell me why it's wrong, because we have experimental proof that confirms that general relativity is indeed the most correct theory we have as far as gravity goes.
Yeah, sure, I can explain why general relativity is wrong, but first of all, you need to tell me what is gravity. What is it? We know that magnetism is
gravity.
Is a
Right.
pulling.
Let me answer the question then. Gravity is the warping of space-time due to the uneven distribution of mass, which results in an attractive force between masses. That is what gravity is, okay?
Okay, so
And that's been observed and experimented with. You cannot deny that fact. It is a 100% experimentally verified fact. And if you are going to say it's not, you need to refute every single experiment around relativity. Every single one of them. Otherwise, you have no claim.
I want to ask you a question, Spurs. Okay,
yeah,
Spurs. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, sir. So, how would you go about verifying something you believed in? Okay, let me say that. Let's say I want to validate gravity. How would I do that? In your opinion, what would be the methodology I would need to do to verify that?
first I'd have to observe gravity. And not
Okay,
just
things
make-
fall. Things
make-
fall. Things fall. We are looking for
Things
an
fall, yeah.
explanation.
So we have a description.
Hold on, hold
Okay,
on,
so
hold on, hold on. That's
Okay,
the
go
natural
on.
observed phenomenon. That's the natural observed phenomenon is that things fall. We say there must be a reason according to F equals ma. There must be a reason that that object falls. So
Yeah,
we then
I
work
agree.
from that premise. Okay, so now we know that things fall and we need a reason for them to fall. Go ahead.
Okay, so for example, if an apple falls, it's because it grew, it's ready, it became too heavy for the stalk that it's on. If you talk about a ball, you throw in the air. You've picked it up from its resting place, and now it has this energy. Because remember, Newton's first law is objects in, or is it the second law? I think it's the first one. Objects at rest will stay at rest unless a force acts upon it. So obviously, if a rock is on the ground, it's at rest. If you pick it up, you've now
What?
became that force. You let it go, it falls back to where it was.
That's
Very
not how that
simple.
works.
Okay, well then
That's
Spurs.
exactly how that works.
Okay, so Spurs, the problem with that assertion is that if I were to dig a hole under the apple on the ground, the apple would fall deeper into that hole.
Oh, you've just changed the medium, yes, that it was in.
So,
Yes.
but I have not
Well, no,
added
that's
or
not what you
taken
said.
energy away from the system. Yeah, you said that the apple was at rest on the ground. I grabbed it, put energy into it, which is true. You're absolutely right. It takes energy for me to lift that apple up. That energy is converted into potential energy. When I drop it, the energy converts back down to its resting spot. It's a conservation of energy. You're absolutely right about that. But if I go underneath the apple and I dig a hole right up underneath, let's say I go down, I dig 6 feet down, and then I go a little bit under, and then I dig six feet straight back up to the apple. The moment I dig the earth up from underneath the apple's going to fall to the bottom of that hole. I've not added energy to the apple. I've not given it any energy. But yet, the moment that I allowed it to seek a lower energy state, it immediately did so.
No. When the apple was on the ground in the mud, it was at rest. So now it's in a different medium. Okay.
Yeah, but
so
where's,
that
the,
medium
where's the
became-
energy come from?
Yeah, you said that things that are at rest will remain at rest. We already agreed upon that. I do 100% agree with you with that statement. So if it was at rest and no energy was put into it, how did it begin moving to begin with?
Because you changed the medium that it was in.
But I did not add any energy to the system. If I don't touch the rock, or if I don't touch the apple, if I only dig right up until I take all the ground off of the apple all the way up to the very surface, but I never touch the apple, then I would not be putting energy back into that apple, and yet it would still fall.
But you realize it's all connected as one when it's in the ground, right?
That is exactly what we're talking about. Everything is connected. All mass, all energy attracts each
hold
other.
on. So let's say you're digging under the apple or the rock or whatever it may be, and then you get to the part where it's too weak. It became too weak to support the apple.
Support what?
Final dig.
Okay, so
you're
just a
digging
moment
from
ago.
underneath, and there's like a thin layer of mud.
Okay,
just
so-
above just underneath the apple.
But just a moment ago.
one more
Go ahead, I'm
scoop.
sorry.
So that final scoop that you put in, where it fell, you put that force in to make it fall, and it changed the medium again, and then it went down until it has another medium. So remember,
Zero
you're
sense
digging.
because by that logic,
Listen,
the apple
you just said that
would
an
just
object will
float
remain at
upwards,
rest
float away
unless
from you.
something acts upon it. Unless you touch it, you're
Right.
going to have to apply a pressure to the apple to get it to move. Okay,
No,
that's what.
act upon it. No, not necessarily. You can act upon it. So that means magnetism is a pulling, and that's not a pushing, and that would act upon it, and that could cause it a force, just a force, right?
But you're saying it could, but you're not saying that how it could. You're just saying, like a moment ago, you said that an object will not move if it's at rest. Then I showed you a place where we could. I gave you a thought experiment that you will agree upon, that if we dig a hole up but we don't ever touch the apple's still going to fall down the hole. I know it's a thought experiment. I know how ridiculous it would sound to try to recreate this, but given the context of our daily lives, we can kind of know that when we dig the hole up
Well,
underneath
this
the
is
apple,
very
it's going to
silly
fall
now.
down.
Look, let's make it a little more simple. Let's just take the apple on like a shelf. Okay, so as soon as you touch under the shelf, you are now that force causing the apple to move. Same as if you were under the ground digging for. You are that force. Why is it so difficult?
Because
Right,
you're.
okay, let me ask you this then, Spurs.
Go ahead.
Right, Spurs, can I ask a question? Right. So you're saying the reason an apple would fall is because of the energy you put into it, right? Is that your claim? I don't want to misrepresent you
If
here.
you
Is that what
if
you're
you're
saying?
saying from underneath, yeah, you cause the apple
No, no,
to
no,
fall
no,
in
no.
that case.
No, I'm not saying about underneath. No, I'm not saying underneath. I'm just saying there's an apple on the floor, right? You pick it up
Yeah.
and you let it go. You're saying the reason it falls is because the energy that you put into it when you picked it up, right? Is that
No,
correct?
I'm saying that it was still, and then it needs a force for it to move, which is you. You are that force.
Yeah, yeah. So you're saying you have applied the force to the apple for it to be able to fall to accelerate towards the ground, right? Okay. So does that mean
Right.
that you've only put a finite amount of force into it? So let's say you pick the apple up and you're holding it 1.5 meters above the ground. Are you saying that you've
Yep.
given it 1.5 meters worth of force?
No, that's not down to you. It's down to the medium it's in.
Huh?
That's not what
You
you're
don't
saying.
control the rate. You don't control the rate. So if you did this underwater, you'd get a different rate.
No, I'm not
You
talking
did
about the
it
rate.
in,
Right, Spurs, I'm not talking about the rate. Spurs, I'm not talking about the rate. I'm saying that your claim is that the reason something falls is because you have applied the force to it by lifting it up, right? That's your claim, right?
Yeah, because remember, Newton says it will remain
Right.
at rest
Okay, right, no,
until
right, so it's all right, it's okay, all right, stop, let me get to where I'm going. So, you have applied the force. You have,
Yep.
according to you, you have given that apple 1.5 meters worth of force by lifting it 1.5 meters into the
No,
air.
you just
Okay?
presuppose that. I didn't say that. You just presuppose that. I said, Newton said, it will remain at rest until a force acts upon it. Now,
Yes,
you're
so you
that
are
force.
saying that you have given the force. Right, exactly. So you've given it that force. But you
Right.
can't give it an infinite amount of energy, right? You can only give it a finite amount of force, right?
Now
And
you're
that
adding
force
stuff.
would be
No, you're adding stuff
so
to
you're
this.
saying that-
What are you talking about?
right. So you're saying that there's an infinite amount of energy that you've given that apple when you lifted it up.
No, I'm saying that depending on the medium will depend on the rate that it moves.
I don't care about the medium. I'm talking about the
It doesn't
distance
matter about
that it's
my
going to fall.
force. Yeah, it doesn't matter about my force because if I threw,
Right, Spurs, you're
the
not
same
fucking listening.
object-
Just open your ears and listen for 2 secs, all right? You are saying that the reason something would fall is because you have physically given it that force. That's your words, right? That means that there is a finite amount of force that you could have given something. So if you pick up an apple off the floor, lift it 1.5
Yeah.
meters into the air, according to you, you have given it 1.5 meters worth of force. That presents a massive
No.
problem because what if I pick up that apple from
that's
the
not
floor,
what I've said.
hold it 1.5
I
meters,
didn't say
shut
that.
up and listen, all right? Shut the fuck up and listen, all right? What happens if
Well,
I
you
lift
can
that
put words
apple
in
up
my mouth, but I
1.5
didn't
meters?
say that.
Shut the fuck up and listen. Stop interrupting, you fucking retard, all right? If you lift that apple up 1.5 meters into the air, okay, that means that according to you, you've given it 1.5 meters worth of force. Now, if I change and then move that apple over a well and let it go, it is going to fall with more than the 1.5 meters worth of force that according to you, you have applied to it. Your entire paradigm is built on a faulty assumption of not understanding fucking anything. That is not
That's
how
not
a
what I
force
said.
works. A force, no,
That's not
it is.
what I-
A force is a constant. Shut up. An acceleration is a constant force. All right. It's not something that you can just get boom once. It's going to forever accelerate. No. For something to accelerate, there has to be a constant force acting on it. The constant force is the force of gravity, not you picking up the fucking apple.
Can you demonstrate this?
Yes,
No.
absolutely.
All right,
It's called the
all
Cavendish
theoretical.
experiment.
This is all theoretical.
No,
This is
no,
all
no, shut the
theoretical.
fuck up. You just asked if... No, shut up. You just asked if I can experiment it. Yes, I fucking can. The Cavendish experiment. It demonstrates everything that I have just said. Do not say I cannot demonstrate it unless you can explain why the Cavendish experiment did not demonstrate what I am saying.
And
Well,
can you
Cavendish-
demonstrate a creator? But no, you've also said, hold on, let's use your logic. You've also said that the everything that exists is because of a creator. Information must exist because of creator. But you've not demonstrated that. You've just said it. How is that any different
That's
than what
what I'm
you're
saying.
accusing Craig of?
That's what I'm saying. We both have the same religious belief. He can't
No,
demonstrate
but
it. I can't
no,
demonstrate
no,
I
that's
can't.
wrong.
No,
That's
shut
wrong.
the fuck up. I just told you I can demonstrate it.
Yeah, that's
Don't tell
wrong.
me I can't demonstrate it, Spurs, when I've just told you I can demonstrate it. The Cavendish experiment demonstrates what I am saying. Don't fucking say I can't demonstrate it, alright?
Now,
Cavendish is
Spurs.
not an experiment. You know this.
Yes, it fucking is. No, unless you can refute exactly why it doesn't demonstrate what I'm saying, then you have no case. Do not say I cannot demonstrate it, and do not say the Cavendish is not an experiment, because that's exactly what it fucking is. You do not get to redefine science, alright, you fucking moron?
Okay, so
Well, again,
how is it not an experiment? Physics college students, or every year, thousands of college students do this experiment to graduate, part of their curriculum to advance forward. So, why is it not an experiment, Spurs?
We don't see mass attracting mass in nature. It's very simple. You're begging the
But
question.
we
we
do.
actually fucking
No.
do.
Spurs, let something go and it falls towards the fucking ground. That is mass attracting mass. Stop saying we don't see things when we fucking do. And I just want to
Balloons
quickly
go
address
straight-
someone in the
balloons
chat
go
that...
straight up,
Shut
smoke-
up, shut up,
smoke
shut the
goes
fuck up,
straight
Spurs,
up,
I'm
balloons
talking
go
right now.
straight up.
Spurs,
1 second, guys.
Spurs,
1 second,
shut
guys.
up, I'm talking...
Hold on.
Right.
Spurs,
Let me
one.
just address someone in the...
You're telling misinformation. You're telling
Shut
disinformation.
up, Spurs.
Hey,
Spurs, will
give
you
us
shut
a-
up when I'm talking?
1 second. I'm going to turn it over to you, Spurs, when he gets done, but go ahead, fight.
Right, yeah, I just want to quickly address someone in the chat that is objecting to my use of the word retard. No, Howard, your brother is not a retard. Retard is not a medical word, and it hasn't been for many, many years.
Yeah.
Retard actually has the same epistemology as the word idiot. So, if I call someone a retard, I can call them a retard, because it's not a medical term anymore. Stop being offended for somebody else, because that's a stupid thing to do. Your brother is not retarded, because retarded is not a medical term anymore. If you object to the word retard, you also object to the word idiot. People need to stop that. That's what I wanted to say.
Spurs, and then I'm gonna turn that over to Spurs now because he had a response to something you were saying, Craig. Go ahead, Spurs.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Am I speaking to a religious fanatic or a scientist?
No, you're speaking to someone with evidence.
Hold on, fight. Let him answer, and I'm gonna kick it right back to you and let you answer that because I know what you're gonna say already, and you're absolutely right. Go ahead, Spurs.
I mean, I tried to start off about is it religious, and it seems to me you're preaching a lot, Craig. I mean, I'm asking for very simple experiments to show that we have a gravitational force. Now, you've done nothing but say, well, we have it because I'm a professional, I'm a physicist, I have the papers to show. But with all of your profession, you don't actually have an experiment. Number one, we don't see mass attracting mass in nature. We know the cause of why things fall is because either you or the apple grew, it was time. If you were to take a basketball, for example, underwater and drop the basketball would rise. That is dependent on the medium, Craig. This is not down to any gravitational force. So the idea, like I've said, you have this religious belief and you're becoming very fanatical about that religion.
Stop! No, Spurs, stop calling it a religious belief. Just fucking stop that, alright? Just do not say I have a religious belief, because that is not the case. Don't fucking say that, alright? You understand me? I'm telling you right now, stop fucking saying that.
Okay, Spurs.
What observed phenomena?
Okay,
Okay, let's talk about science. What observed phenomena do you have, Craig?
I'm going to respond to you. Right, we have an observed phenomenon. Mass attracts mass. Every time you let something go, it falls towards the ground. The moon is orbiting the Earth because of mass attracting mass. There is an observed phenomenon that mass attracts mass. The Cavendish experiment showed that this attraction between masses is not just towards the ground. It is between all masses. There is other experiments that also demonstrate this fact. For instance, the Schehallien experiment in Scotland, where they used a plumb bob over an entire year, hanging off the edge of a mountain to measure the gravitational attraction of the mountain to try and weigh the world. And they did it. And they actually got figures that were very close to what we know now. There are many experiments that demonstrate mass attracts mass. Stop saying it doesn't, because you are lying, Spurs. You cannot say there are any experiments when I've just told you two. No, shut the fuck up when I'm talking. You cannot say there's any experiments because I've just told you two of them. All right? Unless you can refute those experiments and their results, you cannot say there is not an experiment to demonstrate mass attracting mass. Do you understand? I'm not letting you get away with your fucking shit, all right?
Go ahead, Spurs. I'll let you answer that.
Every single one of those well, so-called experiments that you call them, can be refuted with a change of a medium. Once the medium has changed
No, they
for
can't.
every single one that you've just spoken about, you will get different results. And the conclusion will be a different outcome. And that's what you're not testing. That's why your science is not
No, wait.
rigorous.
Let me
Your
speak now.
science is
All right,
religious,
let
and
me
that's
stop.
Can
why
I
you
speak?
say
Wait,
your
let
science
me
is
just
not
respond to him
pseudoscience.
quickly.
No,
Right,
no.
Spurs, stop. The buoyancy that you are talking about requires a downward force. The buoyancy formula is rho vg.
That is a
You
presupposition
need
about a
the
downward force.
No, shut the fuck up. There
Hey, let
is
him
a
answer
downward
first.
force.
Let him answer.
We
I'll
all
turn it to you
experience
afterwards.
Right?
Go
There
ahead.
is a downward acceleration. You cannot ignore that. That exists.
You cannot just preach
deny
that,
that's a
Craig. You
thing.
have to demonstrate that.
No,
You can't
I'm
just
not
preach.
preaching it. Right, I can
Well,
fucking
demonstrate
demonstrate
this
it. I've
downward
just told
force,
you.
because as far
Shut up.
As far as we...
Cool. All right, shut
Okay.
up. Shut the... Spurs, I have told you. The demonstration that there is a downward acceleration. Let something go and it accelerates towards the fucking ground. That is a
That is
downward
your
acceleration.
That is your
And the-
hypothesis.
Shut
That
up,
is your
I'm talking.
hypothesis.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking, will you? Stop being so
ahead.
fucking rude, Spurs, alright? There is a downward
I apologize.
acceleration. That exists. It is observable. It exists. You cannot deny there is a downward acceleration, okay? Buoyancy requires that downward acceleration to be a thing. It needs the downward acceleration to pull the less dense mass, the more dense mass around the less dense thing, causing an acceleration in the opposite direction. If you say buoyancy, if you're talking about things going up, you are admitting to gravity, okay?
Hey, Spurs, I do want to ask you a question though, because this is a good point to be bringing out. Okay, so let's say we have a lead sphere, all right, and we take it up 100 meters, and we drop the lead sphere. It's going to hit the ground it's going to take a certain amount of time to reach the ground. Okay, and you say it's because the medium is not supporting the weight of the lead ball. Would that be a correct assumption that the atmosphere is not able to support the lead ball?
What would happen in space?
Well, I mean, in the
It would
absence of a
accelerate towards mass.
in the absence of a gravitational field, it wouldn't do anything. But if there was a gravitational field there,
what is the medium of space? You said there's a medium there.
well, there's a vacuum energy, yeah, but it's. So when you say that there's a medium, I mean, you're just saying that a point in space is filled up with a particular amount of energy, right, or matter. Yeah, that's what you're trying to get at, that there must be energy and matter everywhere in space. Well, we do see energy
I
everywhere
don't know.
in
That's
space.
what you said.
No, we
you
do
said
see
there's
everything,
nowhere
but
that's-
we do. We've already tested that. We've already tested that prediction out and validated that prediction that energy exists everywhere in space. So, as far as you need to know, just think of a white paper where the vacuum of space is slightly less white. You know, it's kind of off-white. And everywhere where there's mass energy,
Those particles, those particles in space, are they attracted to anything?
they're virtual particles. They only exist for an instantaneous moment in time.
Do they have any attraction to them?
They don't exist for an amount of time. So there's no way for them to accelerate in any one direction or cause things to accelerate towards them. They exist, then they don't exist. That's it. And yes, they are affected. Yes, they are affected by gravity because that's what Hawking radiation is. These
How are they affected by? How are they
sorry?
affected by gravity? How
Well,
are they
if you have
affected by gravity?
so if you have when the virtual particles come into existence, there's a conservation of energy, charge, momentum, everything. So essentially, what you're doing is you're adding a +1 and a -1 at the same time, so you're always getting a 0. All right, that's legitimately, like, if it's an easy way to think about it, is instantaneously in a mathematical equation there appears at the end a +1 and a -1. So you're really adding 0 to the total amount of energy and the total charge, and all that in the universe. Now, sometimes this occurs at the event horizon. So when this occurs at the event horizon, you can get one of the particles on one side of the event horizon and the other particle on the other side of the event horizon. If the particle that's on one side of the event horizon, if it's on the inside of the event horizon, no matter what it does, it can never make it back to the other particle. Now, since that other particle, being a virtual particle, no longer has its partner to eliminate itself, like you're removing the -1 from the equation, well, then you're putting the +1 out into the universe. Okay, that's energy. Now we got to figure out what happened with the -1. Well, the -1 went into the black hole and contributed negative energy to the energy of the black hole. So the black hole essentially begins evaporating down from, the black hole evaporates down, and what we see to confirm that the black hole is evaporating down is we haven't detected it yet, but we're getting close to detecting it, is the Hawking radiation that comes off of the black hole. So we're still getting a conservation of energy.
Okay, can we move on? I think that could be a draw because again, that's just another religious point. That
No. No. We have evidence, Spurs. Stop saying it's religious when we have evidence for what we're saying. All right,
Spurs.
I'm gonna Spurs. I'm gonna ask you this once. Stop saying we have religious beliefs. All right, I'm asking you to stop it because it's not true. We do not have religious beliefs. We have evidence. Can you do that for me? Can you stop saying it? Because if you keep saying it, I'm going to call you a fucking retard over and over. Do you understand?
Spurs. Hold on. I want to ask you a question, okay? Because I started down this line of questioning, and it was a back and forth that I was trying to get you to tell me what you would accept as a confirmation experiment, okay? So you tell me, if I say that gravity exists and you say, okay, prove it. Well, I'm going to ask you, what would satisfy you as an experiment that proved gravity to be true?
So, if you could show mass attracted mass with the right variables accounted for.
Done that.
Yeah,
you're asking for things we've already done. You're asking for things we've already done, Spurs. Stop it.
If you could show me right now, in real time, Cavendish in a vacuum, where the pressure from the outside, where the pressure from the let's see it then.
Cool.
I want to see a paper. I want to see the actual movement.
Okay.
And remember, this is man-made, so that the phenomena will be questionable.
Here it is.
No, it won't. That doesn't. That's
and
not.
I've got citations. Yes, it does. I've got citations to back me up.
No, it's not. No, Spurs. No, stop. No, stop. No, Spurs. Shut up. You do not get to redefine science. You're going to stop that right now as well. Okay.
Well, you need citations
means not. Shut up. Shut up when I'm talking. Shut up when I'm talking. Spurs. Shut up when I'm talking. Right. You do not get. You do no. Spurs. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. You do not.
I'll give you a chance to respond.
Natural. Spurs. Shut up. Natural does not mean not man-made. It means not supernatural. Get that through your thick fucking skull and stop saying man-made things aren't science.
Every time I speak, he's interrupting me.
That's because you keep saying stupid things I've already fucking debunked. Stop going over the same things we've already explained to you. Do not ask for an experiment to show gravity because we've already told you it, alright? Do not do that.
So Spurs, I guess... Go ahead, Spurs. Go ahead. I'll let you speak. Go ahead, Spurs. I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
This is fanatical preaching, what, Craig? I have citations.
No, stop it. Stop it. No, fucking stop it. Stop it. No, I'm not letting you do that. You do not get to tell me I'm fanatically preaching or religious. I've told you to fucking stop that, and you will fucking stop it, all right?
But I'm saying that I have citations to back up what I'm saying. I have demonstrations to show.
You simply don't.
I'm going to show it. Yeah, I'm going to show a citation that... natural, synthetic, and artificial, and the difference. So terms can be difficult to find, this citation says. And through
I'm showing the picture of the Cavendish that was done in a vacuum.
Let me.
You've got the video.
I'll put it on screen.
Well, that's not a video. We don't see mass attracting mass. That's a photograph, right? So where's the video of this?
I can get the citations in the paper that it's from if you like. I'll post
No.
it in the chat now so everybody can see it.
Where is the phenomena in this picture? Where's the observed phenomena in this picture? You think the phenomena is in this picture?
Spurs, you do not need an observed phenomenon for a picture. Don't be a fucking retard.
So how do I see mass attracting mass in this picture?
Because that is the Cavendish experiment in there. That is the Cavendish experiment inside that vacuum chamber that they did, right? And
remember what I said? I'm trying to demonstrate that.
Shut up! I'm talking still. I have posted in the chat the link to the paper that is from. The Cavendish has been done in a vacuum. It has been recorded. It's been done over and over. You do not get to say it hasn't been done.
It's never been observed.
No, they observed it. They observed it when they... no, Spurs, how do you think they did the experiment without fucking observing it? Stop saying they haven't observed it. Stop saying they haven't... No, stop it. You do not get to say they haven't done it when I'm fucking showing you the picture of it. Now, that's because you don't get to redefine science. You've got to stop doing that. All right? I'm telling you, stop it. I'm not going to let you redefine science. You will stop it.
Well, I can tell you why. We are about to change the education system, yeah. Because what you guys are doing is... I'm about to tell you why, though, not just state it, right?
But you can't... Okay. Go ahead first. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you out.
Okay, so what you guys are doing are reifying everything. You have an idea that you believe to be true. And
let him finish,
instead of trying to falsify this claim, you're trying to push this claim as its fact. So when I ask you for a demonstration or any citations or any observations of what you're claiming, you just preach and shout and swear. Where I have, because like what we're going to get into next, if we can change.
No, I don't. Spurs, no, you're not going to get to lie about me. I'm not letting you do it, all right? I have given you the citation. I have posted the paper for this experiment in the chat. I am showing you right now a picture from that experiment. You can go and look at the paper and try and falsify it later if you want, but you do not get to say I can't. No, you do not get to say I cannot give you a demonstration when I am literally fucking doing that right now. Stop it, and otherwise I'm just going to keep over talking you.
Anyway, we're moving on now. Next subject, because
no, we're not.
late.
No, we're not moving on. No, we're not moving on. We're not moving on until until you can falsify this. You falsify the fact that the experiment was done in the vacuum. All right. Tell me how me actually showing a paper with the experiment documented isn't a citation and enough evidence for the Cavendish experiment being done in the vacuum. And you know what happened when they did the Cavendish experiment in the vacuum? They got the same value for G that you always fucking get.
That's not how science
you don't
works.
get
That's
to redefine science. No, Spurs, you don't get to redefine science. I've told you that. You do not get to redefine science.
That is pseudoscience. You're not describing science.
No, it's not. No, it's not pseudoscience. Stop saying that.
So let's talk about falsification here. So who is supposed to falsify a claim? Me or you?
The people doing the experiment.
Anybody that takes
not
the,
anybody.
hold on.
Teams
No, yes,
not anybody.
no, hold on.
No,
yes, absolutely
no.
anybody. Spurs, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Anybody.
Santa Claus is real. Okay. Santa Claus is real. Prove he's not. Prove Santa Claus is not.
That's not how science works. You don't fucking disprove.
If you sold, that's how that works. Stuff you get on a souls or scales like these things, like the 445 items from World Quests. Well, the weekly assaults are basically World Quests. Ooh, I finally understand. I'm slightly less stupid now. Slightly. It's the same. No, wait, it's not the same one. Wait, is it? What?
It's my claim to prove he's not real.
It's on you to prove that he does exist, to offer evidence that I should believe
That's
it.
where
right.
the falsification comes in.
Right.
So
Spurs. No. Shut up, Spurs. Listen. You're not gonna
That's another
dominate
point
it
to
like
me,
that.
guys. That's
No, it's
point.
not another point to you.
You haven't had any points.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck
Hey,
up, you moron.
you know what? Continue to add up your loser points all you want. I don't care. Okay. You're at about 6 loser points at this point, and that's fine. You can keep accumulating them. But yes, Spurs. When they post a scientific experiment, when they put it out, and they put it out for peer review, anybody can redo the experiment. The methodology is in the paperwork on how they did it. If you are capable of doing it, you can do it. If you have a billion
And
dollars,
falsify it.
yeah, and falsify it and produce your data that proves that they're wrong. This
Only
happens
if I
all the fucking time, bro. Yes, it
Only
does.
if I believe that. Yeah, only if I believe that to be true. If I
No,
don't
you
believe
follow
that
the
to,
methodology and you prove that the data cannot be replicated.
not if I don't believe it to be true. No, it's his claim. He has to show that it's
I don't
not
care
true.
about beliefs.
Okay,
Yeah, that's your
I've
hypothesis.
showed it's not.
No.
So why exactly am I?
Right.
So, okay,
You
Yeah,
don't
Spurs,
care about
it's-
it.
it's-
That's how you
it's been
begin.
shown.
That's how you begin.
Spurs-
That is your
Spurs-
first step, Craig. Your first step is belief, and then you're trying to
And
falsify your belief.
No. Shut up. I don't have beliefs. Stop saying it's all about beliefs. It's not. It's about
No,
evidence.
I'm saying,
Right?
I'm saying you
No,
began
shut up and let me
with a
talk you
belief.
through it. No, stop, and let me talk you through this, okay? The observed phenomenon is that mass attracts mass. The observed phenomenon is that things accelerate towards ground, okay? My hypothesis is that mass attracts mass. To
Acceleration
test
is
this,
not a
I will
phenomenon,
put a
but carry on.
Cavendish...
Acceleration is not a
Absolutely
phenomenon.
fucking is,
but
you
carry on.
retard.
hold on,
How is
hold
that
on.
a phenomenon?
No.
Absolutely is.
If you let go of a ball, does it fall at a constant rate or does it accelerate towards the ground, Spurs?
Depend on the medium.
No, it doesn't.
No, it always accelerates.
Yes, it
It-
does.
yeah, for a change of velocity, an object must accelerate. Must.
No, if you take a
Yes.
basketball,
No. Yes, I'm right.
is that
Okay.
accelerating?
I'm right.
When you take a
Yeah,
basketball
it's
underwater,
accelerating. It's accelerating
No, if
in
you're
the
in
opposite
the-
direction of gravity because of the buoyant force. All right. Now let me
Accelerating
finish
in the opposite direction.
what I was saying. Yeah. Now let me explain. Let me finish what I was saying. All right. Keep your mouth shut for 2 minutes and just fucking try and
Okay,
learn
okay.
something. Okay. My observed phenomenon is things accelerate towards the ground. My hypothesis is that mass attracts mass. To test this, I will create a Cavendish experiment and put it in a vacuum chamber to remove any external factors. This has been done. I presented you the paper to say it's been done. The conclusion of the experiment was that mass does indeed attract mass. I was not able to disprove my hypothesis with the experiment. Therefore, we will go with the experimentally verified fact that mass attracts mass. Unless you can explain why the experiment I have just described to you, including the scientific method steps that I explained, is false, you do not have a claim.
Go ahead, Spurs.
Because again, you haven't tested your claim based on an observed phenomena. We do not see
Yes, I did. I
mass
just told you that.
attracted mass. No,
Yes, we do.
don't
Stop
see
saying
mass
we don't. I've told you we do. No, we do. I've
Spurs.
just told you we do by things
you-
accelerating towards the ground. Stop saying we don't.
Yeah, if you
So,
drop a
when you
basketball,
say
why
the
does
word-
it accelerate
hold on.
towards the ground?
When you say the word attraction, you're implying a force, you're implying a connection. There is no connection between the ball and the earth. Other than
No,
the
you're
fabric
making
of
that up.
space.
No, you're making that up. No, you're making that up, Spurs. What we observe is an acceleration towards the ground.
But
That
no
is
connection.
an observed phenomenon. No, you don't need a connection. All right, there's no
You
connection in
would
the
do.
fucking
To
magnetic
pull something-
field.
To pull something, you need a connection.
What's the physical connection in magnets?
I don't know. Electricity.
Exactly. There's no physical fucking connection, is there? There's a magnetic field. The same on Earth, there's a gravitational field. Now, once again,
No, I just
it is an
electricity.
observed... No, shut up. It is an observed phenomenon that things accelerate
No, I've just
towards
told you
the
the answer.
ground.
Electricity. I've just
No,
told you electricity.
Electricity is not the
Spurs.
reason for magnetism. What about a magnet that is, a natural magnet, okay? What about a natural magnet that has no electricity, a naturally magnetic ore, that will
Another
attract
wild
other
claim.
things
Prove-
with the
prove
correct
that a
magnetic...
magnet has no electricity running through it. Well, prove that then, or disprove.
No,
that.
you just claimed. No, you claimed that a magnet has electricity running through it, so you would be after the one that has to substantiate that claim, Spurs. All right?
Because
the
you could ground
fact
it.
is that magnetic field. Yeah, the fact is that magnetic fields exist. Right? There is no physical connection. But if I got two just
Yes.
fucking normal magnets in my hand and put them next to each other on the table, they're going to move towards each other. They are not physically connected. Stop saying
Craig,
stupid
that's how
things.
we can turn devices on with magnets. We can use them as a connector. Electricity, of course, there's a connection. What are you talking about? They're part of a circuit. There has to be a connection.
Spurs, you just totally changed the subject there. If I put two magnets on my table next to each other, they will move toward the north. The correct poles will move towards each other. What physical
Right.
connection was there? There's no electricity running through these magnets that are on my table. What physical connection made those magnets move towards each other? Because they accelerated, right? They went from not moving to moving. That's an acceleration, okay? So they accelerated. What was the physical thing causing that?
I've just told you electrons, which is electricity.
Electrons are
simple.
not
I'm
No, I'm sorry,
electricity.
magnets don't work with electricity.
Electrons
That's not
aren't
how magnets-
electricity.
That's fundamental. Yeah. So the idea is that there has to be a connection anyway, and you
No,
have.
no, stop, no,
this-
no, Spurs, you can't, no, stop. You haven't explained what the connection between the two magnets is.
I've just told you electricity.
No, it's not electricity. You're wrong. There is no electricity in these two magnets.
Electromagnetism. That's what it is.
No, I'm not
Do
talking
you know
about
what
electromagnetism.
electromagnetism is?
I am just talking
yeah,
about two normal
electricity
fucking.
and magnetism.
No, that's not what electromagnetism is. Fuck's sake. I'm just
But
talking
again,
about
you
two
made the one
normal
assertion.
fucking.
Look,
Stop and listen. No, Spurs, stop and listen. Stop and listen. Right? Two just normal bar magnets. They have no electricity running through them. Just two normal bar magnets. Again, no electricity. Right? And I put them next to each other on the table, and they have accelerated towards each other. Where is the physical connection that you say there must be?
Obviously,
It's not
in the
electricity, so you
magnets.
can't say that. Where? Can you
Where
show
inside
me
the mag-
point out the?
Yeah.
Can you
Spurs,
show
listen.
me the physical
Hey,
the
what
physical
what
connection
fight's
between
trying
those two
to
magnets?
you ever-
Spurs?
have you
Spurs.
ever
What
looked
fight
inside
is
of
trying?
magnet?
Spurs. Listen. What fight is trying to say is, let's say you set two magnets 2 centimeters apart. Okay. There's no way they're touching each other. Now, if let's say you're holding them back, you let go of them and they'll attract to each other. Where is the connection that causes them to attract to each other?
It depends on the power of the electricity. That's in the
There's
in the
what
oh
magnet.
my God. Did you say the electricity in the
There's no-
air? No, that's incorrect. Also.
Yeah,
There's no
the
electricity
okay.
in the magnets, Spurs.
The static
There's no
electricity.
Okay, so I know what you're trying to
That's not
say.
how
You're trying to find a way to get out of that hole you just put yourself in by saying that about gravity and saying that everything that causes an acceleration must be connected. So gravity can't be
Right.
the reason, and then we say, oh, but
Right.
look, here's the magnets, and they're not connected, but they're attracted to each other. And then you're just trying to say, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this? Well, you can't just work your way backwards until you find a solution that fits your paradigm. You have to actually take the world into account and build your paradigm based on that. If the magnets do not need a physical connection to each other to attract together, and that was your premise, then you must also say that could possibly happen with gravity, because you can already demonstrate how it's not, how you're incorrect about that when regarding magnets. So how do you know that you're correct about gravity needing a physical connection to make things objects move?
Because we know that magnets also have a physical connection.
No, they don't. I just told you. I
What
put two
physical
magnets.
connection?
I put two magnets 2 centimeters apart in a vacuum chamber, and they're still going to attract to each other.
And
It
to
depends
back it
on
up
the
even
energy
more,
that-
let's place a rubber. Wait, Spurs. But let's place a rubber sheet between those two magnets. Right? They're still going to attract towards each other. There is
Exactly.
no physical connection like you said there has to be. Right? So you are wrong about there needing to be a physical connection.
Wait,
Do you
what
understand
was-
that?
Now, I want to interject here, okay? Because the
There's
reason
the
why I
corruption
started down
coming
the line
from.
of questioning I was asking you,
fuck,
Spurs, was to
didn't
understand what
do
your
the thing.
methodology is in proving something to be true, okay? At least from
I
your
forgot to get
perspective,
rid of the-
giving you your best. And when I say prove, I'm using it colloquially.
I forgot
meaning
to get
there's
rid
enough
of the,
evidence to
corruption.
suggest that is most likely right, okay? So when I ask you that, I say, what would I need to do to explain any science experiment, not gravity, any science experiment? How would I be able to prove to you that the experiment is valid? Like, should I be able to make a prediction before I ever run the experiment? Or should I run the experiment and explain the outcome later? Which one of those two is more correct when it comes to a
Okay,
scientific
so-
experiment?
Yeah, so there is a way to see that physical connection.
No, Spurs,
you
don't.
can
No,
use-
hold on. Don't leave my questioning. Don't leave my questioning. Okay. I know you want to get back to that. I'll let you get back to that in a moment. But I'm asking you a simple question. Do you, in your opinion, what validates something? Okay, let's say somebody makes a claim and they want to validate it. Do they validate the claim by making a prediction? Hold on, by making a prediction prior to running the experiment, or do they validate the claim by running the experiment, looking at the results, and coming up with a conclusion?
No, you validate it with it's got to be repeatable. So if you have a claim,
but you need to predict it first, right? I mean, you can't just get to the end of the experiment and go, "Oh, look, this is the reason," because my data matches what I just asserted. You make a prediction. Exactly. You make a prediction in the future. Right. You make a prediction in the future.
You only make a prediction if there is a cause to an effect.
Okay, so let's say you tell me that something is the way it is. Okay, anything. We're not gonna limit you down to one topic. I'm not gonna come here to try to prove you wrong. You say this happens because of this. All right. Now, when you say that, if I want to validate that, I should be able to make a prediction given a certain set of circumstances based on what you say happens. All right? And then I should be able to use your methodology to see if I still get the same results that you got, or if my prediction matched what it should match. What I predicted, does it match observational reality? All right? It's not do the experiment, evaluate the results, and come up with a conclusion. It's make a prediction and then do an experiment and see if your conclusion matched your prediction. That's how you validate something or invalidate something. Now, I asked you that because when it comes to gravity, when it comes to general relativity, we have an experiment that was able to be performed in space, okay, that was not meant to be an experiment. It was the Galilean satellites. When they put the Galilean satellites up,
what just happened? I didn't pay attention. He was at like 20%. I didn't pay attention for 2 seconds,
and
boom.
It was like a GPS satellite.
Was just
where
dead.
It rotated the Earth.
What did I just do?
Right? But what happened is when they put these satellites into orbit, they put them in the wrong orbit. They put it in an orbit that brought it closer to the Earth on one pass, and then as it went around, it went further from the Earth. So it was more elliptical than circular. All right. This allowed us to test predictions made by general relativity. We didn't go up there and say, "Oh, look, these satellites are out of place. Must be, the clock difference must be general relativity." No, we said, "Oh, look, these orbits take it further from gravitational potential and closer to the gravitational potential of the Earth at different times in the orbit." The prediction that was made was that the clocks would be different, would tick at different rates relative to a clock here on Earth at different points in the orbit. We tested that out. We allowed those clocks to make the full orbit, and we tested the clocks out at different positions to confirm that our predictions are valid. And they were validated. General relativity was proven to be correct as best as we could. And again, I use the word proven as a colloquial term. It's just evidence to support general relativity is correct.
Again, it sounds, look, you're just preaching at me, right? What I'm about to do next is not preaching. I'm going to provide you with absolute a demonstration. You're just preaching bullshit. What sounds like a religious idea that you want me to convert to without any evidence to support it. Now, we're told that
apart from
everywhere
the evidence of course.
No, you haven't presented any evidence. So we're told that everywhere is curving.
Spurs, sorry, but the Cavendish experiment was evidence. You can't say I haven't presented the evidence.
A photograph of mass attracting mass is not evidence, Craig.
I also presented the scientific paper. No. I also presented the scientific paper around it. So I have presented evidence. You cannot say I haven't. Stop saying things that are just outright lies. Okay, stop it.
That should be 2 points to me, team, because he failed to provide any evidence that mass attracts mass. If I showed you a photograph.
Stop saying no. Stop it.
If I showed you a photograph.
No, Spurs. No, I'm not letting you do that. I'm not letting. No, Spurs. I'm not letting you do that. Spurs. No, I'm not letting you do it. Spurs. I'm not letting you do it.
So rude tonight.
Spurs. I'm not letting you.
You're just fanatical.
I'm not letting you do it. I'm not letting you do it. I have presented evidence. Spurs, I presented evidence and I presented the science. Shut up! I presented evidence and I presented the scientific paper to back up the picture that I presented. Shut up. I presented the scientific paper. Did you hear that? I presented the scientific paper. Can you hear those words? Yes or no?
Yeah, you showed a paper to a photograph.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So
That's
no.
not
Yeah.
science.
So I have. That was the scientific experiment that was done. If you want to falsify that experiment, you can go and recreate it yourself. The experiment has been
goodness
done.
sake. So
and
I'll take a picture of the ice
Wait,
wall
why-
and write a paper and say,
Oh,
here's
no,
a
I
picture of
didn't
the
get
ice
any
wall,
corruption
and here's my paper on the ice wall.
resistance.
Don't be silly,
Fuck.
Craig. We're gonna have to.
Yeah,
have
but
a-
no, but
again.
Spurs, what you're saying is silly because several experiments, many experiments, are not done with the ability to turn a camera on it and validate it with just a camera. Like for instance, the gravitational waves. We don't look at gravitational waves. We can't see them if we look at them. We have to design an experiment where the gravitational wave affects the experiment, and then we look at the data. Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me finish. We then go back. We go back and we look at the data. We see the anomaly in the data, and we then break down the anomaly. Okay, it's not a matter of someone taking a camera and putting it on the wave detector LIGO and leaving it there and saying if it doesn't get caught on camera, it's not a valid experiment. That's not how science works.
No, I'm taking those 2
Can you
points.
show
Fail.
me Spurs? No, well, you don't get any points, Spurs. Can you please show me a video of the Marcus and Morty experiment? Can
No,
you do
that's
that,
not
or
my
is there just
claim.
scientific papers?
I'm gonna claim.
No, but this is
you're gonna
your.
ask-
Wait, no. Your claim is that I need to present you with a video or something to back up what I'm saying. Can you please present me with a video of the Marcus and Morty experiment?
Yeah, can you present me with a video of the buoyant force?
No,
Not
no.
an object,
That's-
not an object accelerating, but a video of the force accelerating the object.
Look,
I need
guys,
that for you to.
I'm a flat earther. I'm going to prove flat.
No. Sorry, the word
That's
is retard. You got that wrong.
No, if I
Wait.
can demonstrate and show absolute perfectly flat parallel, this will
You can.
demonstrate that we can. Yes, I can.
No, you can't. I'll put money on it that you
Absolutely.
can't.
I bet my
So-
channel on it that you can. All right.
That what? That I can't show liquid.
Yeah. If you can show me evidence that the Earth is flat, then I will delete my
No,
channel.
no. I'm going to show you that liquid, like a canal or a bath, the liquid is absolutely flat and level
No, it's
and
not.
parallel.
No, it's not.
Sorry. Well, it is level. You're right, but I'm afraid that Wallace
And it's parallel.
Alfred Wallace
And it's parallel.
Spurs,
I'm sorry, but you
any
can't claim that
motion
canals
of the
are,
water.
are flat. Yeah.
Any motion of the water is going to result in the surface being not perfectly level, okay, or not perfectly flat. I'm sorry.
And
So you're going to
And also
fail
the
in your
bed-
demonstration, even in a bathtub. Go ahead, fight.
And even the Bedford level experiment showed that the canal was not flat. So I'm sorry, but your claim has already been disproven.
So you said you're going to give up your channel if I do what?
If you can
So,
show me 100% evidence that water is completely flat all the time, I will delete my channel.
No, I don't want you to delete your channel. So don't bet that. Bet something else.
No, I'm betting. I'm betting that. All right, Tina delete his
No.
channel. How about that?
Thanks, asshole.
No, bet.
I love how he thinks that because he has more subscribers now, he can just determine when my channel gets deleted and not.
If I show
amazing.
liquid, if I show measurable liquid, absolutely, completely level, flat, parallel, you're going to delete your channel, Craig.
Yeah,
It's a
but
bit
you
of a
said
big one,
measurable,
right?
so I'd expect measurements to come with that. I'd expect measurements to come with that. But
Absolutely,
you said measurable.
we're talking. I'm talking perfect.
And you've got
That's
measurements
what
to
I
back it
provide.
up, do you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Nope.
Cool, let's see it.
So you really want to bet your channel? So what? You want to bet your channel?
Yeah. If you can show me water measured to be 100% flat, I'd delete my channel.
Perfect.
But you've got to show me an actual measurement.
This is what I'm saying.
No, level,
liquid.
Wait. Spurs, wait, stop.
Level
Wait.
liquid
You
canal,
use the word level.
like a bath. You heard the word bath. could be a bath, could be a
But
canal.
wait, one sec. You
Go
said
on,
the word
go
level,
on.
right?
Yep.
The word level means conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. That is the literal definition of the word level. So I think you need to take the
No,
word level
not
out of there and just stick
conforming,
with
not
flat, okay?
conforming. No, Craig, not conforming. This will be parallel 100%.
Wait, no, but you said level, and that's what the word level means. So, so if you're saying level, then the water is conforming to the curvature of Earth.
Level, parallel, no curvature whatsoever. 100% straight.
Sorry, but
flat,
level means
as you like.
curved.
No,
Right,
this doesn't
stop
have
saying
any
level
curvature.
then, because
Okay,
you're using the
so-
wrong words.
So I'm saying no curvature then. Whatever you want to describe it. No curvature, 100% measured.
All right.
Are you
Come
sure
on,
you
then,
want to bet your
let's
time
see
on
this measured 100. Let's see this 100% measured flat water.
All right, so just stipulate the conditions. If this is shown that liquid can be 100% parallel, you're going to delete your... I don't want you to do that, Craig. That's a bit much.
Well, let's just
Retract
get the
that.
evidence up.
No,
I don't
let's
need
know
that.
what
How
you're
about
gonna
this?
do.
I have a bet. Okay, I have a good bet right here, Spurs, between you and Fight. If you can prove this to be true, and Fight, you don't have to agree with this. You can agree. In fact, I'll put the money up. Okay. If you can prove this to be true with evidence, me and Fight will donate $100 to a charity of your choice. If you can't, you have to donate
no.
$15. $15. Come on, man.
$1,000.
We're not putting up this month's rent, and you're not prepared to put up $1,000
You're not
either.
going to
So,
lose. You're not going to lose, are you? You're not going to lose, are you?
or do you have $1,000 to
But
put up?
let's go.
Spurs, do you have $1,000 to put up?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Fight. You willing to take that with? I'll split it with you. Spurs,
Yeah,
you can't
okay,
back
alright,
out. You're
if-
not gonna. But we got to set
Right.
some standards. What is the proof going to be, Spurs? Because I'm gonna put my money up for it. Okay.
Liquid
We'll say water. We'll just say water. Right?
is
Is that fine?
completely level, flat. Well, you mean curve, but I don't mean that. You know what I mean when I say flat? I'm talking no curvature whatsoever.
Well, yeah, just stop
Pristine.
using the word level then. Just say flat.
Spurs, you do understand,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
That we have to.
measurable one-
You have to do this right. So how do you intend on doing this to prove it?
I'm going to give Craig a link.
And bear in mind,
No. I'm
If
not
you
saying how are you going to show us you did it. Tell us right now what your methodology is going to be to prove that it's
No.
flat.
I'm not going to show you my methodology until you.
Well,
make the bet.
but okay. So what? No, we're that's Fight. Are you okay with that bet? $500 for you. 500 for you. 500 for me. Are you okay
Yeah.
with that? All right, Spurs.
yeah,
Will you
if
put
he
up?
can show with evidence. If you can
Spurs.
show with evidence that water is always 100% flat,
I said
then between you
liquid.
and I will donate $1,000 to charity.
Liquid.
All right, liquid.
I said liquid.
Let's go with
No,
liquid then.
okay.
The liquid
Oh,
is.
Okay. Are you
No.
sure? You sure you want to do this?
Define the liquid that you're going to do. Define the area that you're going to measure it over, and define your methodology as to how you're going to measure it to ensure that it's flat. That's what you have to do right now, Spurs, if you want to take this bet. I will put my money
Yeah.
up on it because the earth is not flat. So how would you do this?
But you
And
say
right, I'll tell you
water-
what. Right, and to back this up, I'm going to put £500 into my PayPal account right now and take a screenshot so everyone can see the money's there.
And I'll put $500.
Right.
I'm not kidding. I'll put $500 with his £500 to any charity that you want, Spurs. If you can show us that water over a defined amount of distance is
You're gonna send it
perfectly
to my
flat.
PayPal, right? You're gonna
We're
send
gonna
it to my
put it. No,
PayPal.
I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it
No,
to
we're going
charity.
to send it to charity. And
Aw.
but
I'll let
no,
you pick
no,
a
no,
charity.
no,
You
no,
can
back
pick
it.
the charity.
And if you don't back up your claim, you have to donate $1,000 to charity.
Well, you know what? To make it fair, you can donate 500. Since we're putting in 500 apiece, you have to put in 500 to a charity of our picking. If you can't demonstrate this.
Okay. That sounds all right. And to charity.
Okay,
For charity.
great.
Right.
For charity, for
Send me
for
the link
somebody
then.
else. All right. So here's
All right.
what we
Here's
have.
the
We
link.
need you
Here's
to
the link.
define.
I've sent the link, Craig. Here you go. Ready to delete your channel. It's all over, my friend. Get ready to see.
Oh, I've seen.
Now
this
you
one
have to
before.
play the entire video and listen. We've got to listen to what he says, Craig. Right? And
Hold on. Is this going to be one of those you're going to play the video and go, yep, I won that? Because that's not how that works.
No, let's play the
Okay.
video. Let's listen to the video before. Well, anyway, so let's say goodbye to Craig's channel. Even though I don't want you to do that, but you did say that. We've got that
I
on.
thought we'd agreed on money. I thought we'd agreed on money rather than the channel.
Yeah.
Are you changing the bet now?
No, it was both 1,000 and the channel, right?
No, it's one or
Remember,
the
you
other.
called-
Which one do you want?
You were calling us names. You were mocking us, ridiculing us. Now I'm about to demonstrate that
Yeah, that's because
absolutely
you're all
perfect.
fucking idiots.
Right, play the video.
The conditioning end of the melting zone at a temperature of 1100 degrees centigrade through a narrow canal, from where it passes to the heart of the process. above
Danny
the
Pratt
molten
commented on
tin.
this.
Here the glass spreads out, following the perfect flatness of the tin, so that the upper and lower surfaces of the glass remain absolutely flat and parallel.
There you go. Pause. 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 Rewind. Rewind. Pause.
We
Okay.
heard it, but it doesn't really demonstrate what you're trying to say, does it? Because
Can you rewind it?
Wait,
Rewind.
let me say
Rewind.
let me
Hold
say
on,
something.
Spurs.
Okay?
Hold on,
Pause.
Spurs. Go ahead.
What
But
what
we're
they're
now,
doing
that's 10
is
points.
pouring.
10 points practical.
Are you gonna listen, or are you gonna just keep spouting off like a moron? All right. What
All right,
they're doing
first
is
play it
they're
again,
pouring
and
into. Are you gonna interrupt when I'm talking, or are you gonna shut up? All right.
Go
What
on
they're doing
then,
is
go
they're
on.
pouring into a flat thing that is possibly tangential to the Earth. Okay. So
No,
this
he didn't
actual
say that.
container
Play
that
it
it's
again.
in.
No, play it again. Play it again and listen to what he
So
says.
the upper and lower surfaces,
Play the whole thing.
a bath of molten tin.
I'm doing it right now. Shut up.
Here the glass spreads out, following the perfect flatness of the tin, so that the upper and lower surfaces of the glass remain absolutely flat and parallel.
Yeah, they're following the tin.
Absolutely
Now,
flat.
in what way?
Absolutely
in what way?
flat
In
and
what?
parallel.
Wait, Spurs. In what way does that show that liquids are always flat and parallel?
It's just showing you that it's not following any curvature of the Earth there.
What? Because it's not on the Earth; it's in a tin. What would happen if you poured that glass onto the Earth?
Yeah,
Spurs?
and that's not following the curve. That's completely flat and completely level. You heard it there.
Yeah, because
You owe me
that is not on
$1,000.
the Earth. That is in that is in the tin. Now, what
That
would
is in a
happen
canal, yes.
if you poured? It's not in a canal. It's in a tin.
That's
a
what he
canal
called- he
also
called it
follows
a
the
canal.
curvature of the Earth.
He called it a canal.
It's not an
You
actual
listen.
canal, though, is it? It's a tin.
He called it
now,
a canal. You
what
owe me
would happen-
$1,000,
Now,
Craig.
Spurs,
I'll show-
answer the
I'll
question.
show you measurable,
Spurs,
absolutely
Spurs,
flat.
shut up and
level.
answer
There's
the
no measurements.
No, you
Spurs, answer the question. Spurs, answer
Hold
the
on.
question. What would
Hold
happen if
on.
you poured that
Where's the
glass
measurements?
onto the ground?
Where are the measurements, Spurs? To
Play
show.
the video.
No,
Play
I'm
the
sorry.
video.
I'm sorry. He said it, but where are the measurements?
Play the video. You've got to play
No,
the
that's
video.
not it. That's not it. That's not showing us measurements. That's some guy saying something. Isn't that what y'all's argument is all the time? Where are the
Yeah,
measurements,
you owe me
Spurs?
$1,000.
Where are the measurements?
No,
You owe me
I think you
$1,000.
actually need to pay 1,000. Spurs, it was to charity, number one, and number two, you need to now pay $500 to charity.
A gentle stretching action.
No, you owe me $1,000 for charity here.
Oh, wait, look at the glass right now. So the glass that's touching the edge of that saw, is that flat or is it going to be curved?
He's already told you, parallel, flat, and level, both sides.
Where
top and
are the
bottom.
measurements? He said that
Oh my
colloquially.
God.
Where are the measurements? Yeah, exactly. Liquids
The
liquids
measurements
act
are
under
zero.
force.
The measurements are zero.
Where?
There's no deviation.
Where do you see
Where's
that?
the
Show me the
measurements?
measurements. Show me the
It's
measurements. Spurs.
parallel.
Show me the measurements.
Parallel. Oh my
Show me-
God. Parallel
show me the
means
measurements.
horizontal. How
Show
silly
me
are you, team?
the measurements. No, shut up.
Team,
Show me the
your brain's
measurements.
freaking out
Show
right
me
now. You're
the
freaking
measurements. No, show me
You're
the
freaking
measurements.
out.
You're
freaking out.
taking what some guy said. Okay, hold on. So if I go and make this same video and just replace and just take all his voice out and put my voice in and go, oh, here, look, it slightly curves at the top. Well, then I just debunked it, right? Because I said it. I mean, that's what that guy said. He said
Been
it.
debunked.
Oh no, I have
can't
not been
believe what you
debunked.
guys are like.
No,
You've
I
got
have
it
not
there.
been
I
debunked.
told you.
The
It's
guy told you.
completely
Well, hey,
parallel.
okay. Do I need to show you how many times somebody says gravity is real? Why can't you? Okay,
Gene,
so
it's
that
there.
hold on,
Parallel.
everybody. I want you to hear this. Spurs now
sir.
allows a scientist to just say that it's flat, therefore it must be flat, or the guy in the thing says it's flat, it must be flat. Now, should I go and grab all the times on YouTube that someone has said that gravity exists, therefore it exists? Don't you ask for measurement, Spurs? Yes or no? Do you ask? Hold on. Do you ask for measurements? Yes or no? You have not demonstrated anything. No, you have not demonstrated anything, Spurs. You have not demonstrated anything. I heard what? How many times have you heard? Hold on. How many times have you heard that gravity exists and you deny that? Is that so? All you have to do is hold on. No, all you have to do is hear the words "gravity exists." Are you ready for me to play multiple clips of scientists saying that gravity exists so that you can fucking accept it based on what somebody said on a video? Yes or no, Spurs? Yes or no, Spurs? You have not demonstrated anything. You played a video. Where are your measurements? I don't care what I heard. Where are the measurements? Where are the measurements? Where are the measurements to show that they're parallel? Where are the measurements to show that it's parallel? Where are the measurements to show? No, where are the measurements? Spurs, listen to what I'm saying. Where are the measurements to show that they were parallel? Outside of the man saying that they were parallel.
Play the video. You haven't even watched. You watched 5 seconds of it.
No, I asked you to give me the thing. I asked you to give me the measurements, and you said that they said parallel. They said parallel. I don't care what they say. Where are the measurements?
You need to go to a glass workshop then.
I don't need to go anywhere.
Busted. You're all
I
busted.
don't need to go anywhere.
Parallel, both sides. I've got the facts, the demonstrations, the figures, the numbers, everything. He's shown that this is liquid, is absolutely level and parallel, and you guys can't show that it's curving. You can't show that that's more or less than zero.
Well, that's exactly why at the beginning I said, how do you expect to do your methodology? If your methodology was playing a video that someone else did with a narrator over it, I would have told you that you're fucking stupid. Now, when I said, how do you intend on demonstrating no curvature, you need to demonstrate this. This is not a video that I want you to play to demonstrate that it's perfectly flat. I need you to do it.
As they
Play the video, and that will just show you it all.
Go ahead, play
Flat
the video.
level.
I don't care. Play the video.
What more do you want? The liquid is
I want you to
completely-
demonstrate it. I want you to demonstrate it.
I don't work for that company. Stop being silly.
And do you think the guy that fucking said it was parallel, the narrator, do you think he's the guy that did the fucking experiment? Yes or no? How do you know that hold on, shut up, Spurs. How do you know that everything he's saying is not 100% a lie? Have you ever demonstrated this? Have you gone and found other experiments? And this isn't even an experiment. This is a process. But have you found anything to corroborate that? Any links to corroborate what they're saying? How do you know that that's just not a narrator just saying whatever he wants to say?
Yeah, it's a flat Earth organization.
You don't.
Yeah, it's a flat Earth organization. Yeah, it's a flat Earth organization. Yeah, we've all got together. We've decided to build this factory and make the liquid flat and level and bring it to the world. Yeah, that's what happens.
You would need jobs and money. You would need jobs and money to do that.
Spurs, stop. Spurs, listen. All right, I'm going to play this video a second. We just listen to what the narrator says. As they pour the glass, it follows the curvature of Earth. Oh, wow, they just said it on the video.
Oh, my God, did you hear that? Wow, you owe me $500, Spurs. You owe me $500.
We can listen to it again if you want. I mean, I can rewind
please,
and play it
hold
again.
on. Yeah, please. I didn't hear it that well. Go ahead.
It follows the curvature of Earth. Let me just do it once more. As they pour the glass, it follows the curvature of Earth.
That's you, team.
Wow, they said it on the video, Spurs.
Oh my God! Look what just happened. That was you, team.
Just saying something is good enough. That's what you're saying, right?
I nearly believed
in
you
that
as
video
well.
you just watched,
thought
you
that,
heard it say.
I can't believe you just done that. I can't believe you. I really believed that you for a second there, for a moment, and then
Okay.
I can't
So
believe it.
before you pulled your shenanigans there, Spurs, I asked you at the beginning what your methodology was, what the distance would be over which we would be measuring this, and what you expect to see when you say you define.
Guys. You just tried to team. You're not honest.
No.
You just tried
Fuck
to deceive
that.
me.
I told you from the beginning that I wanted to know what your methodology was and how you intended on doing this. You can't just go out and say, "Oh, I was going to put a camera at the bottom of a pool and measure on the other side how much of a drop the other camera had, or another point had that I arbitrarily set on the pool." That wouldn't have worked for me. See, because you don't understand what it takes to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. Playing a video with a narrator over it, saying that it's perfectly parallel without any fucking measurements to show that it's actually fucking parallel is not fucking sufficient evidence to support your claim.
No, I can't believe.
And
yes.
Spurs, and also the thing is that tin that is poured into is engineered to be flat, right? But if you poured that glass onto the floor, Spurs, if you poured that glass onto the floor, it's going to follow whatever shape the floor is, right? Do you agree with that?
Craig, I'm done. I can't believe you just deceived me like that.
Do you do you agree with what I've just said? Do you agree with what I've just said?
It's so obvious that none would come out with me. Oh my God, he's trying to deceive me! NASA's coming for me!
If I poured that molten glass onto the floor, Spurs, what shape will it be then? Will it follow the shape of the floor, or will it also be perfectly flat?
The same thing. Perfectly flat.
Oh right, so you think if I poured it on, so if I poured it onto the floor that wasn't perfectly flat, the glass is still going to be perfectly flat, is it?
No, it won't be flat on the top, obviously, but on the bottom, it will be perfectly
well, there
flat.
you fucking no. Wait, it's gonna be
What?
What?
Spurs, listen to the words. If I pour that molten glass onto the floor that isn't flat, what shape will the molten glass be?
So the surface will be completely parallel, and the bottom will just follow the contour of the ground, right?
Do you have any evidence for that?
I've just posted
Or are you
it.
just saying
the glass
things?
thing. I've just posted it for you, Craig.
but
You just watched it.
And
You just tried to deceive
well,
me
yeah,
with
but
it.
then when this,
Anyway, look.
but when this narrator speaks,
As they
Yeah,
the
you-
glass, it follows the curvature of Earth.
oh, it's weird because
I
I
can't
watched it
believe-
on the video
I
and I
can't
heard you
believe
say
that.
it. So
Yeah.
Craig,
but
you
I don't-
really pranked. I mean,
How is that any
that's a good
different
prank.
than? Hey, how is that any different than what you showed us though?
That was a good prank. You owe me $1,000, guys.
We
£1,000.
don't know. We don't know you shit. We don't know you shit
gotta
because
pay-
you
you
never,
gotta pay up.
you
No,
did not
Spurs,
demonstrate anything. You just played a video where
I
some guy
said-
said something.
I-
That's all you did. Spurs, shut up.
Look,
Listen, I'm gonna I let you fucking run with your bullshit for as long as you wanted to, but you have not, repeat, have not demonstrated anything. I asked you what your methodology would be. You couldn't even give me a methodology. You played a video where some guy said they're parallel, and you took that to mean that at all points, under electron microscope measurements, they're exactly equidistant from each other. You haven't demonstrated that. You haven't shown any evidence to support that. You have a narrator that says one thing. Well, guess what? I now have a narrator that says something completely different than you do. Show me why my narrator is wrong and your narrator is right. Demonstrate it with measurements. Fuck, what do you not understand about fucking science, dude?
And with that, I will say good night, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, have a good night, Spurs. You have for real, man. Take care.
yeah, please go and donate the £500 you need to charity.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's a fucking idiot, man. But hey, you know, I mean, it was a good thing, but that's
I'm
why.
sorry that I went off a little bit.
Please, you took over my role for one night. I love doing that, and to be honest with you, when I first started, man, I started getting having cold sweats real fucking bad, and I was coughing a lot, and I was like, holy shit! I even made a comment in the fucking chat. I was like, damn, man, I don't know how much how long I'm going to be able to do to do this. And you just took over, so thank you very much for
Yeah,
for doing
I think
what
I held in all my rage from yesterday. I purposely stayed extremely calm when debating Riley yesterday, because I wanted him to hang himself, which he did very, very well. So I'd held in the rage since yesterday, and I just let it out there.
Yeah, but to be honest, okay, here's what's wrong with here's why Spurs could never take this argument into a fucking courtroom and say, yeah, these guys are forced to pay $500 a piece. Because first off, you didn't demonstrate anything. You played a video that said a thing. Okay, well, we can go play videos that say other things that directly contradict what you're saying. On top of that, all we have to do is show one time when that doesn't work. And believe me, Spurs, that would not be hard to show one time where water curves around a sphere. All I got to do is pour water on a basketball. And guess what? As it drips down the basketball, it's going to follow its curved surface. All right? That means the water, all connected to each other, is going to be curved. Nothing you can say about that, Spurs. Pay the fucking $500 to charity, and I don't even care. I don't care what charity you do, but put it towards charity. Help someone else go to college, something that you wouldn't do for yourself. Go help someone else. Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, so I'm going to read some super chats because we've had a lot come in, and I'm sorry, guys. I was going to stop in the middle of all this and read out half of them, but it was so much of a dumpster fire, it just kept on going. Jessica G for $2. Love you, my alien-loving friend. Hey, Spurs, go F yourself. Everyone 2020. Exactly. Ilya Moon for $2. F off, derpity derp. Yes, exactly. Ilya, thank you very much. Glass Monster for $2 Canadian. Please bring me on. Yeah, he's already left, man. Sorry about that. Jessica G for $10. That really sucks, team. I still hate your face, though. Thank you. I appreciate that. Here's the 10 spot to help you fix the window on your Prius. Car break-ins blow just when it's not yours, or just not when it's yours. Love, Jess. Well, I appreciate it. Actually, my window wasn't broken. My door was just opened, and when I got into the car, everything, it was like completely trash. Like they had pulled out stuff out of the glove compartments and threw it everywhere, out of my center console and just threw it everywhere. So it was an unfortunate thing. I don't keep objects of value in my car, and I don't lock my doors, so that way I don't run the risk of getting broken windows. I learned that when I lived in downtown Dallas, and my car was literally getting broken.
Well, at least they didn't steal your car.
Every month. Yes, that would have been an issue if they would have stolen my car. And we have some kids in the neighborhood, so I'm sure it was one of them. They just probably walked by, pulled on the door handle, and said, "Oh, look at this car, it's open," and jumped in. I mean, at least they didn't break my window.
Winds me up.
It does. It winds me up too. Christ Puncher for $2 Canadian. Spurs is too stupid to understand what evidence is. I know. Exactly. And it is, like, that's why I tried to walk him through it. I tried to ask him, I said, you tell me what it would take for me to convince you that an experiment is correct. Do I need to wait until I have the results of the experiment to say, oh, look, we can use this to explain these results? No, that's not how science works. Science is based on prediction. What I do is I get enough data to where I can make an informed opinion, an informed prediction, and I make the prediction before the experiment is ever run. I wait until the end of the experiment, and I verify that what I believe to be true because my data matches my predictions. And then I have to take everything into account, too. You can't just be an Anthony Riley and do an egg experiment with a TDM, or the wrong fucking meter, not even the right meter you're supposed to use to measure density. And then not even taking into account that the density equation has the acceleration force in it. Like it's if you're not accounting for gravity.
Equation, you mean?
What did I say? Yeah, the buoyancy equation.
You said the density equation.
Oh yeah, the buoyancy. Yeah, I'm sorry. Boom.
Yeah, that's Victor style.
Yeah, just making sure you're paying attention over there. Go ahead.
Remember when Victor said that that the buoyancy equation is density equals mass over volume?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, all these people that say that F equals m over v have got to take that into account. That means A equals 1 over v. The acceleration of an object is not based on its mass, not based on its density. It's literally based on as the acceleration goes up, the velocity volume goes up. Believe.
So last night in the after show when Spurs came on,
down.
We were trying to go over forces and stuff, right? And he just wasn't getting it. So I asked him in F equals ma, what does the A stand for? What do you think his answer was?
I'm trying to think what he would say other than acceleration. I don't know. What'd he
said
say?
Area.
Oh my god.
Area.
Oh my god. That was the other thing. He said tonight Spurs said something about the area of space. And no, it's not measured in area, it's measured in volume. If you're talking about the area of space that touches the Kármán line, then you could define a surface area of what we call space that rests up against the Kármán line. And it would be, the same thing as the surface area of the sphere that it has a radius that goes out to the Kármán line. So, yeah. Let's see. Ilya Moon for $2. Just here for Jessica's comments. I know, right, Ilya? She fucking, of all the people, she harasses me the most, and I love it. She's totally in love with me. She loves Alien. Her favorite movie of all time is E.T. And she's like, oh, Team Skeptic looks like E.T. and I'm an Alien lover, so might as well love Team Skeptic.
Well, no, she thinks that you actually were in that.
Yeah, she thinks I was E-fucking-T. The Athens 619 for $5. Here's a question for Skid Mark. Here's a question that Skid Mark refuses to answer. How does a sextant work on a flat Earth? Can you get Jared or Guy's Fuse so he can answer?
It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. Doesn't work. Nerd Angle, we don't need...
just for anyone that does...
Go ahead.
Sorry, just for anyone that doesn't know, the reason a sextant doesn't work on a flat Earth is because of what happens. So, if you were at the North Pole and you use the sextant to, find the angle between Polaris and the horizon, every 69 miles that you move away from the North Pole, the angle reduces by 1 degree. If the Earth was flat, that angle would increase every time. Every 69 miles, it would be a bigger angle. It simply does not work on a flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly. You make a prediction, you go out, you measure something like the angle of Polaris, and you say, if it's flat, it should say this. And you explain it in your methodology as to how you came to that conclusion before you ever took the measurement. And then you go out and you measure it, and you say, does that measurement match my predictions? And if they don't, then you're in fucking trouble. And I'm sorry, Spurs, and all the rest of you fucking flat earth idiots out there, but those observations do not match predictions. All right. Good point, Athens 619. Nerd Angle for $4.99. We don't need a creator. Spurs, you should read Lawrence Krauss's A Universe from Nothing. Put your money where your mouth is and do some research. Man, I would love to read that. I like Lawrence Krauss. I did read, I can't remember who shared it with me, but I still have the email, so I could always find out. But somebody shared Sean Carroll's, God, what is it, the name of the book? God, dog it, I can't even think of the book right now. I was just thinking about the book, and I can't remember now. Sean Carroll.
I'm rereading at the moment The Voyage of the Beagle and Origin of Species. Actually a really good book.
Something Deeply Hidden. Because I'm a big fan of so I've always been a big fan of the idea of how quantum mechanics, what it means to our reality. Like, we live in a false reality, guys. Everything we see is not as it seems. Everything is made up of tiny, 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 tiny particles interacting with one another at a quantum level. What we see is just the general average of all those, of all those quantum interactions and how we perceive them in our, from a classical standpoint. But keep in mind, everything you see, everything you experience is from the past. So it's all classical. So, but moving forward, everything is all quantum mechanical. Like in the future, everything is predicted by the Schrodinger equation, and how quantum mechanics even describes the classical motion of particles and whatnot. So I've always been fascinated about it, and I've always had this fundamental disagreement with the Copenhagen interpretation. Even though in my earlier days of being on YouTube, you'd hear me talk about it a lot, but I always had this I just didn't get it. When we talk about something happening in the real world, we always have to have a mechanism to describe why that thing happens. There's very few things that are in this universe that we don't completely understand as to why they happen. And so I always when people would say collapse, when the wave function collapses to a point, I always used to ask myself, well, what is the mechanism by which the waveform collapses? It's never explained. It's just explained as an instantaneous collapse that collapses across, the entire universe instantaneously. So I found out about many worlds, and I started looking into it, and I was like, wow, this has a lot better of an explanation. Even though it sounds more counterintuitive, it does have a better explanation than just jumping from, excluding what the Schrodinger's equation predicts and, focusing on the individual wave function we find ourselves on. So, but that's easy to do when you just want to look at what our wave function is. But if you want to know the whole picture, you have to look at the whole picture as though the universe is splitting into different worlds. Whether you want to look at it as splitting into different worlds, or you want to look at it as becoming you're aware of less wave functions, however you want to look at it is fine. But I do think that the theories or the postulates and hypotheses around many worlds would be more correct and more explainable using what we already understand. I don't know why
you're saying it's not
tangent.
magic.
No, it's not magic. 100% not magic. And that's the biggest frustration in the world is to hear people talk about quantum mechanics as if it's magic. It's not magic. It's fundamental reality. That's what it really is. It's the most fundamental basis of reality.
But we don't fully understand yet.
Yeah, we don't fully understand. We understand principles of quantum mechanics, and we are one day will be able to have a better understanding of it. But it's still, it's hard to work with quantum systems because back in the day you only had, the equipment wasn't good enough. Everything you were using, everything is a quantum system. So anytime you make a measurement, you're using your one quantum system is interacting with another quantum system, and that provides a problem when you want to know how one quantum system will progress in the future when you're not adding information to it, interacting with it quantumly as well with another quantum system. But that's just
right.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Sean Carroll. I think that's why we started talking about that shit. But go ahead.
Before you carry on with the super chats, I want to play a quick video from one of my new favorite YouTube creators that features the two of us. So can you maybe full screen again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this guy, Flat Derp, he's amazing. Let me just make sure the audio is on. Yeah, enjoy.
Y'all ready for this? I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, listen to this. We gonna come at you.
And so let's just say if they want a dishonored head that bad, let's just give them one. Now, we're not going to hurt anybody. You just kind of hold them down for what does it take? 2 minutes, get a good one, and they're done. They're shaving.
The prisoners, they listen to you. For some reason, they look to you like you're the leader. I got news for you. In here, you're the leader. Shit.
Oh my god. That is so
Dave's
fucking
smiling.
awesome.
Want to send a message? Let's send a message.
Sarah! Sarah!
Whoa.
Well, I've been drinking urine now for 6 years. I got into it in May 2011.
Hi, everybody. A wonderful audience. I'll be here all week. Be sure to tip your waitress.
Oh my god.
Man, that is so fucking
Oh my
cool,
god.
man.
Flat Derp, you're
Derp.
fucking amazing.
Thank you for joining in YouTube and beginning when you did. Because I need more of that. I need more of that.
I haven't laughed so hard. in a while.
Under no pressure is Spurs in the chat. Okay, I got you. And Spurs, yeah, no problem. Hey, Spurs, I want you to know, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know why you left because it was getting a bit frustrating. No big deal, man. I'm not, I take no offense to you leaving, and I hope you don't take anything personal. And of course, I'll share your channel because, I don't think you're that bad of a dude. Think you got some fucking flaws, but I don't think you're that bad of a dude. So, all right.
I mean, you're a fucking idiot, but...
Yeah. Ding! And then he shared another video with me, Flat Earth, No Drama, Dr. Anthony Purcell versus Spurs Keysmo. I'd like to, I'm going to check that out, Spurs, because I haven't seen that video yet. But yeah, Flat Derp. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was the one from my channel, I think.
Oh, is it? Is it just, he just shared the link from your channel? Okay. But
Yeah.
Flat Dirt, man, that's amazing, dude. I like that. I like that you're putting in those animations, and they're pretty fucking funny, bro. Like the chick or the bird pecking at Nathan Thompson's penis. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Hilarious.
Flat Derp's channel has just been linked in the chat. Please, 411 people watching. All of you need to go and fucking subscribe to Flat Derp. Honestly, I've binge watched all his videos. They're just fucking hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I want more Flat Dirt, so please do not.
Yeah.
Please. We need a whole fucking cartoon. God damn. That's funny. We need a fucking a Science of Satire short series that goes on where we literally just have fucking Flat Dirt make videos like that. Make little 1-minute videos. You're amazing, Flat Dirt. Thank you. Daniel Pratt's water heater for $1.99. Bring in Rumpus. I'm done with Spurs. I like Rumpus. I like his aggressive approach to flat earthers. Yeah, he's like me. He's just like me and you. He is very aggressive. He doesn't let them get away with their nonsense. He calls them out when they fucking are trying to be like disingenuous. Good. I'm glad Rumpus is part of this community. Need more people like him.
He chased Spurs off last night on my channel. Like, he would not let Spurs get away with any of his shit. And Spurs like, right, I can't cope with this, I'm going.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm adding Spurs channel to the description. 1 second, guys.
Lucian Andreas says, dude, I can't unsee that. I can't fall asleep anymore. So, sorry, not sorry, I guess.
All right, Spurs. I just added it to the description, man. So again, thank you for coming on tonight. All right, the banner of Hamura Akimi. Oh God, I always fuck it up. The banner of Hamura Akimi.
Hamura Akimi.
Because it's all one long word, and I'm just like, and I do things like that too. I make my shit long. For $2, God of the Gaps fallacy equals Spurs. Yeah, that is a common thing. Like, that's what I said. I mean, I don't need God to make a prediction of certain things. Sure, if you want to go ahead and apply God to the first 10 to the negative 13 or 31, whatever it happens to be that we have physical evidence for. If you want to apply him before then, totally fine. That's on you. But in the future, we're going to have an explanation of that too, and your God is not going to be hold as strong as of a theory. It's not going to hold any predictive powers. And once we have, the science to get beyond where we're limited now, it's going to be perfectly explainable. So, time is limited on the God of the Gaps.
Flat Dirt subscribers just jumped by about 60.
Ha! I love
keep
that.
Keep subscribing, guys. Yeah.
In fact, Will you do me a favor, since I'm here and I don't want to go away from these super chats? Will you send me Flat Derp's channel in the in Discord so I can add it to the description as well? Thanks.
Now, here you go.
JL Truth. We started calling JL Warren JL Truth. I gave him the option of being JL Truth or JM Warren. He went with JL Truth for 24 hours. Oh, and did you see Tony Purcell change his name? Anthony Purcell. I told him that we want to start calling him
Tony.
PhD. I love that, man. PhD Tony. Yes. All right. That's awesome, man. Stoogie _420 became a new member. Everybody, you know what to fucking do. Thank you. New member alert.
Oh.
And then
That does remind me, I received an email today that might actually intrigue you, team. Let me just get up so I can read it to you.
Okay.
There we go. From Ernest E. Matthews, it says, "Hey, Craig and Team Skeptic. The Taco Bell meat tube is real. My wife remembers it clearly in the 90s. It's why she quit eating at Taco Bell."
Boom. I don't need validating evidence. That's enough for me, guys. That's it. I'm done. You guys are wrong. I'm right. Me and the emailer are right. And the rest of you dickweeds who wouldn't believe me is wrong. And if you don't understand how it could possibly happen, God, okay? We're gonna go with the God of the Gaps argument. God. That's how meat tubes exist. And your wife is absolutely sane, okay? So when all her friends are telling her she's insane, be like, nope, no, some random guy from some random YouTube channel, he's also seen the meat tube and was traumatized by it as well. God, I gotta stop saying things like that.
Confirmed in email.
Yeah, I gotta stop saying that a meat tube traumatized me as a kid. People are gonna start taking that wrong. John Watson for €2 or £2. Shame the Po-Olympics have the Po-Olympics have been canceled this year. Ah, man, the internet. The Po-Olympics goes on 24/7, 365, and one extra day every 4 years. That's what the internet is for. That's what YouTube is for. Stephen Lane for £2. Who created the creator? A question that will never be. Why do they not have a God of the Gaps?
Yeah, then the God of the Gaps.
Checkmate this. God of the Gaps is a fucking real thing that now needs to be explained, guys. Because how could God live forever? Oh, but it says in the Bible he lives forever. It says so. Guys, how can you get any more proof than what's in the Bible? It literally says that God lives forever. He's an eternal being. Checkmate, anti-theist, atheist. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're right, Steve.
Sprinkler in the chat says, Quitties the Sprinkler says, "I love emailing Team and FTFE with random accounts and telling them the meat tube is real."
I'm going to tell you, though, I thought I was traumatized by this meat tube. I really still do, because even eating Taco Bell today, I would rather just lick cardboard, you know? Like, I'd rather fucking lick the inside of fucking one of allegedly Dave's used cups before eating fucking Taco Bell. And it's because I watched them squirt taco meat juice. It was not a meat, it was a meat paste, okay? It was reddish brown paste with grayish
Sounds like
speckles.
beans to me.
I mean, yeah, it's probably closer to beans than it was actual meat, but that's why I was traumatized. So I can look at it and remember seeing the gray specks in it and going, wow, that's the meat. Like, that's not meat. Ugh, even thinking about it today makes my stomach turn. All right, Stugel, and I saw your super chat. Stugel 420 for $5. I used to be Steve. Oh, that's Steve-O SD619 and was a member, but changed my tag. And COVID started fudging with my money started fudging with my money finally. Well, hey, Steve-O, I'm glad that you're here, man. Stugel, and don't worry about the membership stuff right now. One thing that I want you guys to know is that if you normally super chat, you normally like to to support the channel, and you find yourself in a position that you can't support the channel,
No.
don't donate. Don't
No,
because it's
fuck!
not about funding me. It's about you right now. Always remember that. Keep that in your in the forefront of your mind, not in the back of your mind, but in the forefront of your mind.
Wow.
We don't know how things are going to be in 6 months, and that some of this may be necessary to keep to yourself right now. And I appreciate everybody's super chat, and I truly do, but I do not want to be responsible for anybody putting themselves in a financial situation.
Piece of shit. Couldn't you
given
have
this
come like
pandemic.
5
So,
seconds earlier?
thank you so much, Stugel420 for
Oh
$5.
my
I
god.
appreciate it. JL Truth for $1.99. I'm not calling you JL Warren, bro. JL Truth for $1.99. This is structured deception. Yeah, I did like the fact that he continued to go 0.1 by. That's a 0.1 by me. Really?
Oh damn it.
So you're not just the referee, the coach, the team, but you're also the scorekeeper. That's fucking rich of you. John Watson for John Watson. When I asked him what pi was, for £2, 3.1415927, which is pi. Jessica G for $2. Break him, team, like your car window. Ouch. Jesus. Like, I know that you donate and you offered money to fix my window, but now you're going to need to donate and offer money to fix my fucking ego, because you break it with every super chat, Jessica. No, I'm just kidding. You know I love you, and you love me because I'm an alien and you're an alien lover. FTFE for €20 or £20. Team Skeptic is the Morgile. Please, just listen. Ask yourself, have you ever seen Team Skeptic and the Morgile in the same room at the same time? Let me answer that question for you. No. No, you haven't. And that, therefore, is 100% proof that Team Skeptic is indeed the Morgile confirmed. You see how I do
You can't deny it, really.
I think I should just read every super chat in a dramatic fashion. And thank you for the super chat fight, but you know, of all people, you don't have to super chat me. You being here helps me out. I know, man, but just I don't know. I try to be. I don't know. I appreciate it more than anything in the world. I just can't reciprocate, and it kind of makes me feel bad. So.
No,
John,
it's not for reciprocating, honestly.
I know. And I know you don't expect that, but it's just, I don't know. It's hard to have good friends like you.
I mean, the hand
in
jobs,
this life.
the reach arounds is all I
Yeah,
need.
take everything I just said about good friends back. This is now my anti-friend. Fuck, man, I can't even fucking compliment you without you getting fucking big-headed and non-modest on me. Throwing around meat tubes and emails.
Well,
I
got to look after
who
the
was
little
it?
channels, haven't I?
Hey, oh my god. Put a 1 in the chat. Before I ask the question to the chat, I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you saw MC Toon's debate last night with, I can't remember his name, but it was the
mad philosopher.
No, not him. There was a guy after that.
Oh, the guy after that, the 5G guy.
The 5G guy, yeah. I need to know, before I ask this question of the audience, I need to know who was there. Great, I fucking forgot the question I was going to ask. Let me see. Shit, it was about something that he said that was so dumb. And now I can't even remember. Wow, he said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard him say, and it just hit my mind right now because we were talking about it. And I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe that this guy said this last night. I'll remember it. But hey, regardless of that, I'll eventually remember. But if you have not seen that live stream, you need... Oh, I do remember what it was. Because we were talking about emails. This guy literally said, what happens when 2 emails that are coming to your phone run into each other? Yes, he fucking said that, fight. He said, what happens when 2 emails run into each other in the air?
Does he not know what bandwidth is?
No, it was hilarious. I mean, he was literally talking as if emails are like physical objects that travel in the air to the phone, and that they could run into each other and fucking annihilate, I guess, or crash. But yes, that did happen last night, and it's a perfect fucking reason why you guys should go watch fucking MC Toon. It was a good conversation. If you want to know the truth, this guy has a serious mental problem, and I'm not talking bad about him. I'm not talking bad about him. I'm being observant. He had a lot of he was under a lot of confirmation bias, placebo and nocebo effect. I mean, something that anybody from an outside perspective could easily look in and see that there was so much confirmation bias in everything he said. But here's the thing. When you're in your mind, you don't see it as confirmation bias. You just see it as reality. Especially if your mind already sees things a certain way, or you're more, you're more receptive to suggestion or anything like that. You're going to feel the narrative based on your experience. This is just human nature, But he was on the super paranoid. I mean, he probably really needs to go see somebody and get some help. It's unfortunate. Because he has children, and he was thinking his children were being affected. He was thinking he had hypersensitivity to EMF. You know what that is, right?
Oh yeah, no, there's actually a fake medical term for it, where I was watching a thing the other day on Netflix about a woman who says that she has it, and she's trying to sue her neighbors for having Wi-Fi and stuff.
Yeah, and there's no evidence to support any of that. There's only evidence to support that it's going to be, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that it's all in your head. In double-blind studies, people who have hypersensitivity to electronics cannot determine which box electronics are in and not in. I mean, it's just, they can't do it under double-blind studies. They can only do it when they only feel the effects of the hypersensitivity when they're aware that the electronics are there to begin with. And that right there tells you that it may be a serious condition, but it's not caused by the presence of electromagnetic frequencies or electromagnetic waves or anything. It's caused by the knowing that you're around electromagnetic waves. Just the simple, the mental knowledge of electromagnetic or electronics around you forces you to have these symptoms. You believe them. And if you're already suggested or prone to suggestion, then how do you know you're not doing that to your daughter? How do you know you're not putting these thoughts in your daughter's head when he's like, my daughter's in pain? Except my father died, and the coroner or the mortician said his face was a bit red, and it was similar to these symptoms. And it's like, that's a mortician. What did the coroner say? What did the medical examiner say? Did they detect any anomalies that couldn't be explained? I don't want to get into breaking him down because I'm not talking shit about him. I just think that he's in a serious mental state that he needs to address. And I hope he does. For his kids' sake, for his own sake, I really hope he gets some help.
Yeah.